Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's also Mel who's, you know, him versus no one, like, to me, the story of this matchup. So I think he sees it's Medusa and he instantly knows what hero he wants to play against Medusa. He's probably telling his captain, just pick me this now, I don't want it to get bad.
10 seconds remaining.
And then we obviously
Virtus
the
Pros
teamfight potential
turn to
of Conquer as
bat.
well. Conquer Magnus is some insane teamfight.
TNC
Actually,
Predators
OD, I
turn
guess,
to bat.
realizing that, you know, the Medusa could go side lane.
Yeah, and OD crushes Conquer mid lane. So that now confirms that Conquer is actually mid lane. Wouldn't make sense to ban the OD otherwise. The Lich pick though. I'm a really big Lich fan. I feel like Lich rarely loses. No, at the minor, it had 80% win rate out of 15 games or something like that. It was ridiculous.
10 seconds remaining.
So, what if you were to see, what would you do
5
against Lich?
seconds remaining.
You don't have to address the Lich.
It's so hard though. Like the hero's so good.
I want to say you don't go too equivalent on the physical damage, but you've got Magnus, so you want to get somebody to empower.
Yeah. Like the best way obviously is to purge off the shield, but it's only Nullifier does that, or a Shadow Demon, but you don't have
Brewmaster. I've seen some teams do Brewmaster.
Yeah.
But
Virtus
based on their
Pros
last game, it
turn
was
to
the
bat.
reposition Magnus, so more likely to see Rio playing Magnus, and then they get some high impact supports.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some just big team fight. Like I think Phoenix is a great hero. TNC have always been really good on. Gives them good team fight. Gives them magic damage. Fire spirits against Medusa. You don't care about that. The Lich armor as well. I think building some big team fight around Phoenix so you can actually go
10
head on
seconds
55
remaining.
could look nice.
Yeah, but it's also kind of risky though.
5
Going
seconds
5v5 against
remaining.
Medusa. One of her strongest assets in the game, right? It'll just depend on.
TNC, these guys love to fight.
Yeah, they love to brawl for sure. I don't know team fight necessarily, but they definitely love to brawl. They run in, they kill you, run out, and run again. Definitely their specialty. What do you think about a ban?
Boy, I think there was it played in one of the games just now? I can't recall. But Batrider, what? Magic damage maybe going to cause some problems in the lane, but I don't know why.
I think Ryan actually plays one of his better heroes, I would say. Batrider. I remember him having quite a lot of games on that hero. Yeah, Batrider to me.
Virtus Pros turn to pick.
Like he has some. He has a good lane, but he just doesn't end games. Just doesn't do much.
What do you think about the Lich, though? You were the one who kind of brought up the question. I haven't heard you say it yet. What do you think actually needs to happen in the draft? Do you think they need to play around it?
As I said, like I've been like scrimming quite a lot, like having a lot of practice games against other teams and stuff.
10 seconds remaining.
It just seems really hard to initiate
5
properly because the guy you
seconds
initiate
remaining.
on, he gets his frost shield. The entire team just gets slowed,
TNC
and then you're
Predators.
in a redrop spot. Or you want to push the tower, he puts the frost on the tower, and then suddenly your entire team is slowed as well. I just think he's a really solid hero, and he might even be on the verge of, you know, I mean, he's getting first pick, first ban all the time.
Yeah, and now you've got Lich Grimstrike, which is one of the best players in Dota.
Lich Grimstrike, double Lich ult is ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
10
like losing
seconds
team fights
remaining.
right now is not. I don't think it's gonna happen.
And you're losing team fights to supports
5
is what's crazy about
seconds
this
remaining.
combo. So there's
I'm surprised
so
they got
funny.
through actually. Like either of those two, if they're not picked up first phase, both of them, one of them gets banned usually. So getting this combo that late is very nice for VP for sure.
He responds.
I mean, they need to have something like a Juggernaut could be good.
I think even
Virtus
going back to
Pros
PA, I mean, PA
turn
sounds
to
bad because it's so much physical damage, but I don't mind it because you can just jump the supports and blow them up.
You think PA is better than Jug as carry position?
Medusa?
Because Jug is kind of immune combo at least.
Yeah, with Blade Fury. I mean, PA, you're immune, you get your BKB. It's like,
TNC
you just want to carry
Predators.
you can build BKB. I mean, 100%. Now you see the tide, so
PA
laying
is
against
rough.
tide, yeah, PA sounds rough. Jug does sound a whole lot better now.
Jug is also a bit rough though. Slark is pretty good. It's
Slark
good against Tide, against Medusa.
Yeah.
And
You just ulti when the Lich Chain Frost comes out or something.
it's a bit scary against the Grimstroke, whatever Phantom
Silence,
it is.
yeah.
10
That's
seconds
great.
But
remaining.
I think the hero could be good here. He gets a good landing phase for sure. He can
5
snowball.
seconds
They
remaining.
have good setup for it. They have M-Power for Slark, which is really good. I could see it work. Last piece is support for
Yeah, I'm
position 4.
just not sold on Slark as a hero.
Virtus Pros
if there's a game for
turn
Slark, it's something like this. And sure enough, yeah.
So you're not sold on Slark, but here, this seems like a wise decision in your mind?
If you can't pick Slark here, then the hero is absolutely garbage. So this is the game for Slark. It's a great matchup versus Tide and Medusa, which are the two core heroes on the other side. So you want to address them with your pick here. You don't worry
10
about
seconds
what
remaining.
the supports bring to the table with your carry pick here.
Yeah. As a Slark,
5
it's like the
seconds
Spark
remaining.
Dream. You have M-Power on your own team. You have Grave. You have Kunkka both. There's so many things going for you. It's it's a perfect Slark game so far at least. And VP will have to address it. They'll pick something like a Faceless Void, I think, just to shut it down.
TNC
So,
Predators turn
He's
to
probably
ban.
gonna look to ban that hero. Rubik
Void.
They
TNC
think it
Predators turn to
might
pick.
be. I mean, they definitely can't just.
Last time they ran 5 position Dazzle there, Ninja Boogie played it, and 3 position Magnus. So I think they're expecting a 4 position hero to come out.
Oh yeah, I mixed it up.
Virtus
I
Pros
thought
turn
TNC
to
banned
pick.
Rubik.
Tiny. So
Position 4 Tiny.
position for Tiny or Magnus position for 1. Magnus, Tiny in some order.
Also, Void is banned actually.
Give another playmaker, someone to make stuff happen.
Okay, so other than Void, there's not really a premium carry that's super good against Slark. It used to be Anti-Mage, but obviously it's also banned out.
Bloodseeker.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
5 seconds
Wanna lose?
remaining.
Go ahead. They pick Bloodseeker, I'm going TNC.
They might what? Go back to the Juggernaut or something again?
Juggernaut, but
Lich, then you've got Lich Jug, really strong lane.
fine.
It's like a way of dealing with Slark, but you're fighting. Slark doesn't want to play against this 5-man type lineup, and I think that's where getting it could work. Or you get like a Terrorblade even.
Yeah.
This is a decent TB game. Maybe a
fine
little
TB
bit
game,
greedy. Be Medusa Tide, but
I feel like there's no like game-winning last pick, you know? Like it's gonna be an average here no matter what. It's not like an auto win.
sure.
Whereas oftentimes we see this last pick, suddenly they have like a terrible last pick. Oh, whoa. What do we do now? It's not gonna happen this game. TNC lineup is very solid. Power push, late game. Lanes. Not much playing about. VP, man. Their team fight is impeccable. They have like 4 team fighters. It's ridiculous. But they definitely lack catch. Then they somehow need
they
to address
also-
the catch issue.
They lack any way to really push. I mean, Medusa kind of sort of slow sieges. If they want to play this fast-paced game and prevent Slark from countering their lineup, you want to try and get racks by like 25 minutes with this Medusa push.
You could
That's where
maybe-
the Jug makes sense to me.
What do you think about like a Drow Ranger? Just like go for it.
Oh, yeah, Drow's not bad here.
It's very risky against Slark though, late game. Like,
Yeah, it goes like both ways in the mid game a bit with the silence, but I think it just doesn't feel like a VP thing. But who knows what they've been practicing and playing at home.
Choose your hero.
Okay.
can work.
Yeah, this was the hero that started getting picked a lot when Magnus came to play, and there it also was picked a ton against these Kunkka mids. So we're going to see Ramsey
So
on
it's a safe lane
Dusa.
Dusa. That's gonna struggle so hard against the tiny Magnus though, I think.
But I think they also say he would have struggled mid against the Kunkka, so it's like, okay, let's get a favorable matchup mid with the Kunkka playing against Timbersaw and a bit better for
Of course, one change with the new Slark, he's actually quite good against Timber now, because when you pounce on him, he can't chain out anymore. Timber used to be quite good against Slark, but now goes both ways. So I think if the Slark just gets, they have no way to stop him. Like, if this Slark gets 10, 12 Shadowblade threats, he's gonna go completely out of. His lane is gonna be good no matter what against the Tidehunter. I'm a bit scared for VP. Then if you somehow...
Was Slark the answer? And this time, Gods, you're going to be making the prediction
so
first.
I gotta screw us up with my terrible predictions.
I'm hoping that's the thing.
I'm just hoping he goes TNC, because I was gonna go TNC.
Oh, okay. You want me? That means you don't want me to go TNC.
No, I want you to go TNC.
Oh no, I think VP's got this.
Really?
I think that I like the adjustment with the last pick Timber. They've got the mid matchup that works for them. I think these two teams playing each other is so much about that Armel versus no one matchup, and he solved that with the last pick. Yeah, Medusa's not gonna have a great time, but I don't think Clark can take over the game against a tight Grimstroke lane.
And I want to go TNC, but I can't go against Lich Grimstroke, man. The coverage is killers. I have to go VP. Just based on draft, VP should have this. The only way...
You had a real opportunity to shine here. Now you're going to predict a VP for the 4th time today.
The only...
Panel.
But if the Slark goes can happen,
so
but...
you were just saying because you were trying to convince me to pick TNC.
Is he gonna bait you?
He spent the last 3 minutes of the draft telling me how amazing TNC's draft was.
All right. Kyle, Toby, we have a group of analysts that will predict nothing but VP. Who do you guys think is going to be able to take this one?
I will go with anyone that Kyle says and anyone that Black doesn't say. So when the two of these align together, I feel pretty good.
I think this game goes both ways. I think VP's big advantage here is that there's just not really that much sustained damage on the side of TNC. Sure, if this has this dream game, he can take over, but realistically, they're so beefy on the side of VP, and I don't agree with Black. I don't think his lane is going to be free up against a Grimstroke and a Tide.
Yeah.
30 seconds to battle.
I always find it difficult to go against anything which has the Magnus upgrade. Like, when you get in power, there's ways for recovery. The team fight is really scary if TNC can actually hit it. But they need to hit it straight up, or else the Tide, the Deuce, the Timber will all survive through.
So they pinged out the Medusa just then because they recognize actually with side lane items. They know he's not going mid now, and they're going to look to swap lanes. You can already see them doing just now. They're going to put Tide mid, who does very well up against a Kunkka, and they ideally want to put Timber in a safe lane solo against a Tiny, but the TNC, they get the read just based on the items, and
yeah, that's
always important to scout.
That's really smart as well. Kind of always thought the Medusa would go to the side lane anyway, and then no one would be into the mid lane, just because it's their normal places to head to. But yeah, but they weren't expecting these exact matchups. But Tim, he'll scatter as much as he possibly can, just on bottom lane, trying to be more of a pain in the butt. The fact the creep wave doesn't aggro to him allows him just to harass no one as he runs into the lane. And it will be the Slark on the off lane. So a great tri-lane in from TNC, trying to get up at the face of the Timbersaw. No one runs this, we'll call this the Radiant off lane for the moment. It's the Radiant solo lane.
And this is important. They're going to TP down bottom with the Grimstroke immediately. You're going to get a free wave on the Timber. If they can contest for this second wave, he's going to hit level 2, and it's much harder for this team to kill him.
I like how Solo's already trying to play with Rio. Rio tried to skewer him back underneath the tier 1 tower and get some extra damage, but won't happen. Bottom lane. That tri-lane going to work. It's a 3-man whirling death, reactive armor, probably enough regeneration maybe when Roger... Oh, that damage! Tim's one more attack from Roger! The stab will keep Tim's alive! Don't think he'll get in range for another attack? No, he will not. Definitely shows you... Wow! Really? Slark?
Well played. Really well played. He gets the double cancel into the connection, and that you're totally fine with that trade for VP. Look at all the damage and regen they expended.
Yeah, they got hit so heavily by no one to try and bring him down. And you're right, he's self-laner, right? So, okay, you give away first blood, goes to Tim's. Lane's still looking pretty good for the Kunk. 10-5 versus a 5-0 Tidehunter. I thought this lane would have been a little bit more in favor of the Tidehunter.
No, it's very difficult to out-DS a Kunkka because of the way your Tidebringer affects denies. So he's doing a very good job on Armel of just toggling it constantly to ensure he denies without wasting it for the harass. And Pasha, level 3 or 4, you can't really compete.
So he just has to wait it out. Top, let's try and look for their own little fun. Solid trying to keep the Magnus out of play. So far done a pretty good job. It's 2-0 for the Magnus versus Ramsey's 10-9. So a lot of denies on that lane. And Solid can tank through a lot by just popping the Frost Shield on himself. But that doesn't help when he gets pulled back in by the Shockwave.
He's doing a good job. You're fine trading. That's the job of a support, is to expend the resources.
They're going to get a bottom. They're after no one. They're starting out on him. Toss him up. A couple of charges will not be enough. And Roger's son comes a little too late. The ink swell. I mean, prep a long time before it's required.
It's just going to be important that they establish dominance in this bottom. I mean, VP is totally fine trading deaths for XP and gold because at a certain point, the Timbersaw, notably level 6, becomes not just unkillable, but a huge threat on a start.
He's Toss as well. Toss level 1. Tim just throws no one back into the rest of the TNC lineup. They won't leash him and control him because they'll dodge the stun from Roger. Now he's got nothing else to give. No mana left in the tank for an ability. He's just trying to put his body on the line, but that's not the body the TNC want. They want to continuously shut down no one, and I can't help but have your words from game from Series 1 in my ear. Like, what happens when no one doesn't get a good game?
Well, it's a benefit in this sense, though, that, you know, Ramses is having a completely free time, but I'll say, while that's not a huge deal, VP, you want to try and, you know, minimize the damage a little bit. That was a big death on no one, and that's the thing you see a lot of teams do nowadays. If you can get the one kill into the teleport back and immediately kill that core again and push that long walk of shame, you're going to get yourself to a nice advantage.
You notice what item Timbersaw has also expended to try and reduce the duration of this walk of shame? He's actually burnt the thought Solo was pretty frivolous with it in the first series. Now no one's doing it. A mark spot in towards the mid, setting up with Tims to toss him all the way back. Little avalanche, is there a follow-up? No, Pasha knew the torrent was coming, and he'll end up dodging, gets hit by the time bringer, but then sounds up knowing he's out of range of the Kunkka.
Armel's doing a great job middle. He's super quick on toggling the Tidebringer. Squandered it once.
Yeah, really trying to stay up in the face of Pasha while bottom lane. The poison touch from Boogie tries to zone out. No Lich will TP down, so no more Grimstroke on the bottom lane, at least not at the moment.
But this is the benefit of 2v1s versus 3v2s, where up top they've completely shut down this Reor Magnus, and now Medusa's in a position as Ramses. He has the bands, he can win the lane by himself.
That's actually a nice stroke of fate, goes through Tims and over to Ninja Boogie, but Gabby getting involved in the fight. Ninja Boogie's got such disdain, both Stick Fighters and the Shadow Wave, but the stun that was on Open allows him to secure the kill for Roger. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off, and Gabby continues to steal up this essence, looking for a little bit more. No pounds available. He's got high movement speed against Roger, but he'll pull.
Already has 3 permanent agility as well. Not bad for a Slark. One of the changes is Underlord and Slark now steal agility and respectively for the entire game, or damage rather.
Ramses, he's got some friends on the way, but burning through the shield. That's why they replaced it with the new one. Poison touch. Ramses doesn't have the life. 5 HP, and the one more tick would have done it. Just one more tick would have done it. Meanwhile, Solo's trying to find a solo kill over on the Magnus, but he's back up and around the trees. A quick shockwave out, but Solo does find the blood. He'll lose his life, but this is Ninja Boogie will chase him through the tree line, but that one range creep stuck on him. And then on bottom lane, Tim's happy to go one more. Actually missing the toss. He wanted over on the Grimstroke, but it won't stop Gabby from diving underneath the tower, just going after Roger. And mid lane, you're right, the boat is out, looking after the Tide Hunter. X marks the spot, should be not pulling him back, it's already gone.
He got close, but if his Tidebringer still did pure damage instead of physical, I think he finds the kill on time, but was not enough damage.
Really keeping weapons on his toes for the observing today.
They're for real.
Nice haste for Tims, and he realizes he can't use it at all. Goes back to base. Roger chasing on the bottom lane. Gabby's rotated over, so movements from TNC starting to switch up their lanes.
Yeah, and this is the concern, though. You're in a scenario where you have one core on the side that's just not really in the game at all, and the Reor Mag, whereas Timbersaw, even though he's died 3 times, he's now level 5. He's perfectly fine down the bottom lane. You've got to rotate out of there. And you've effectively now got 3 supports on the side of TNC. And Gabby, because he was tri-land, not hitting level 6 as fast as you'd like us.
Yep. This allows no one just to tank up bottom lane. Tims will come in to do defense job. He's at least got some good counter push inside the tiny once you can find more levels than 3. And then Jabugi's doing a good job now of keeping the Deucer down. So Ramses, is that just that time you want to go jungle?
I think so. It's more about the fact that Ninja Boogie and the entire tri-lane of TNC have now moved towards top. So it's just become a little dangerous up here. And you're already at a point, Treads and 3 Wraith Bands, that you're strong enough to just farm woods. But we'll see. I did see that Tims was rotating on the bottom lane, so they know there's max 2 heroes up here, so they probably feel more confident. Armel will actually swapping to the bottom lane.
There's a huge stack that he'll probably want to farm up if he's given some space. No one pulled his own creep wave over. He's just building up the reactive arm stack, so even if they attack into him, that's 25 arm they have to get through, but Armel won't care as long as he takes the majority of this neutral stack. The TNC has been the ones preparing, and he got a lot of it. 68 CS now over on the Kunkka. His net worth almost 1,000 above Medusa. Just untouched. Roger burns everything he's got over on the Kunkka, but X marks the spot. Avalanche, ultimate position, and they bring the boat down. But Roger, timing's a little off from TNC. So Roger can survive a little longer. He'll still die to Tim's fists, but they had to work for him.
That's a good game so far by Armel, going for that typical upper bracer that I think, I want to say no one made popular at first, but I could be wrong. The question is, will we see the Radiance Kunkka that China showed off the banana?
But now it looks like keeping the damage up is good. Ninja Boogie barely in time.
That's on Ramses. He didn't snake him, and he didn't even auto-attack him. He probably didn't recognize that Roger was TPing in, because he certainly would have had the damage to finish that kill.
Problems for VP. Remember, VP went through one hell of a marathon of full best of 3. TNC's road to this winners bracket match was a lot easier.
It's going to be a really big match here, because I'll be honest, I would not want to face E-Home in a decider. Starting the upper brackets is so critical, especially when you consider the way you win 1 BO3 and all of a sudden you're top 6. That's enough points to almost guarantee a TIN invite.
And VP looked like a couple of problems as well in the first series. Like, it didn't look clean. The drafting from E-Home was able to be superior as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Slark's being bullied a bit by the Deucer. No one up here helping him. Yeah, sure, there's a Dazzle pulling a bit, but one of the downsides of a tiny support just doesn't have the levels to really influence the map at the moment. Level 5, he's just been camping bottom. It's an issue because the Mag is looking to recover middle as well. Armel farming jungle, but we'll see. He's going to go Shadow Blade. I like that choice. He's going to try and get involved early.
That does make it good for those quick rotations to stop things like this happening, and you can build into a still bridge too, right? Against no one, because he's just a beast on the bottom lane. Clark missing the bounce over on Soul, that would have been a guaranteed kill, especially with the rotation from Armel. Oh, that's one way to remove shield. X-Mark spot, boat coming in too. Is going to connect. No, it actually doesn't exactly. Same with the Ravage. Just a quick Shadow Amulet for Armel. Some little bit of invis and time to buy, while Ninja Boogie chasing down Grimstroke, who begins his they'll find him in the tree line, pounds forward, kill, but then Ramses with a split shot damage kills off Ninja Boogie, and Gabby has to hide in the trees. They're actually TPing back to shrine up quickly and get back into the fight.
In the meantime, the Rior with that DD rune and the Empower on the catapult himself does take that mid tower. Arguably the most important one for a Dire side to acquire.
Middle tower is under attack.
Kind of almost forget about Magnus. They've been giving him that mid lane for the last 5 minutes. So he's gotten the levels. He's gotten the farm. Top lane, Armel going in again. Gabby, this time Bleach will come in. So will the chain cross bounce up and down, but it will not keep the bounce going back into Amel. Tries to go invis again with the Shadow Amulet. Tim creates some space and then tosses him back up the crew wave away from no one's Timber Chain. But you know no one. The Shark from above, and he goes straight through the Kunkka. Don't where he's hiding. Dazzle, no Shallow Grave leveled up. Even though he's level 6, decided to bypass it. And what a rotation in from no one. Having all the time to farm, and now he's 2, 3, 4 on the board for KDA.
A little sloppy from TNC because Rior, he does such a great job killing the tower, but then he rotates to bottom. He's still not looking to get involved, and TNC are fighting up top like this is going to be an even battle, and it really just is not. The entire squad of VP show up, and they blow the Ravage.
Clean up the tower. Is the Blink Dagger for the Magnus really that important? Especially when the Magnus is probably going to die. Silence up, Roger standing by him, land the stun, and it's very easy with the to have enough damage to get through the rest of that Magnus. Putting the shield over on Roger. Actually not triggering the way they would like it to on the Magnus, but he cannot juke it through the tree lines. Very sinister gaze, and the Magnus walks back into him and delays that Blink Dagger timing.
And VP, as always, do a great job of ensuring that Ramses gets the kill. By far the best in the world at giving their star players that extra gold influx from these last hit kills. And here comes a smoke though from the side of TNC. It's an Invis Kunkka. Shadowblade finished.
Worth killing. Courier was carrying through the bomber as well as the Crimson Guard. They decide to let it go. Ramses and Smart spot and walk the core. That's the bigger kill for them, and they claim it to no one. Gonna try and find a rebuttal. Tim's is on the run. They've already used their abilities, but with the arrival of the Magnets and the RP, maybe they think twice. Nope, no one. Timber Chain's underneath the tier 1 tower. Hit to toss him, but that won't stop no one from just charging forward. Especially when he's got the Frost Shield on him. Slow down everyone that wants to attack him, then find an easy target. Ninja Boom, chuck him to cut the trees, making a faster line over towards him.
He's so deep!
In the lane, and now with the double chain down, how do you actually stop this? The creep wave kept the line for a very long time. Lynch can now back up a little bit further, but he doesn't have enough life to get up the ramp and away to safety. The Dazzle still didn't end up dying, but took the attention of both Pasha and no one.
Look at the inventory on Solo, by the way. He's in his death, he purchased sentries. He's got 6. They're ready for the Shadow Blades.
I love Armel lining up with the Radiant Creep Wave to get the cleave onto both the heroes. The Ravage from Pasha, he's actually going to blow it. Trying to get some distance, but the X-Mark ship is just going to come in and kill him off.
We're watching the Armel show right now, Toby. That's what we're going to need to continue keeping the channel tuned to if you'd like to see a TNC victory. So far, doing a great job. They have the Shadowblade from Kunkka almost finished on start. As I said, Solo, he's aware of how this game is going to be played out. I expect to see him placing sentries all over the high grounds and towers to ensure his course stays safe. And another smoke from TNC, this time looking ahead, possibly towards the top area of the jungle, just continuing to hunt Ramses, who has yet to skill his ultimate.
Nice sentry ward. They find Riola's in the neighborhood. He's got Blink Dagger available and RP, but Nose and Solo nicely split up. But it doesn't matter when I'm up. Just TP away to safety. Where are these stuns available when Ravage is down? And you have a Timbersaw and a Tidehunter just standing there.
Shadowblade going to be finished as soon as Gabby finishes the stacks. TNC going to try and continue just staying aggressive. It's very important. The tempo lineup. They want to find that initial kill and then chase for more. VP, you're looking to just bait, turn around with an RP. We already saw how willing they are to play. Oh no!
The Magnus! They didn't have enough for this! Armel will come in and clean up a lot of it. He looked into the middle and got whacked down by the Prowler. Gabby didn't really seem to want to get into that.
Oops, indeed.
Meanwhile, the Pro takes bottom lane. But Armel's got even more money now. Building into the armlet, he's going to go for the I don't think he's in range. Okay, he'll get in range to cut once, but they'll still lose bottom tier 1. But the Courier touched up by Gabby. That had ultimate orb on it. That was, okay.
Vision here. This could be a dead Lich.
Could be. But then again, gathering. Here we go once again. Let the Chain Frost fly. Dazzle will buy back quickly, looking to stay involved in this engagement. Needs to try and keep Gabby alive and fighting. Empower him up. For these RPs, you've still got Blink Dagger RP available. I haven't seen it used. He's had the Blink Dagger for a good 3 to 4 minutes.
You can't kill these guys. The Bash brothers are way too tanky.
Well, they decide to skewer underneath the tower. No one's happy to fight, but he's running very low on mana. Arcane Boots off cooldown in 2 seconds time, but a triple kill in from no one. He wants to get more. Gabby does not have the shadow. They burn the Rabbit. It's an ultra kill, but no one. 17 minutes in. They really are the Bash Brothers.
They're not afraid of anything, Toby. Like, you're walking around with near 4,000 hero combined, 4,000 health rather, with a Vlads and a Crimson Guard. Like, they were talking about the Slark snowballing. How do you kill a Timbersaw at TNC? Ever.
You need the Silver Edge, right? And you're seeing actually where Timbersaw spent almost all of his time as well with that heat map. Everything is on the bottom lane, and all the kills have been on the dire side of the river. Aggressive and behind the tier 2 towers.
You gotta play it. It's a snowball hero. You get ahead and all of a sudden you're too damn tanky. Requires 2 or 3 enemy heroes just to stop you from diving, let alone actually threaten you. And they're gonna smoke on the side of TNC. I don't know if this is the way they're trying to play this game at the moment. It might be more time to split push, or maybe keep Roche play.
Oh. Nope. They don't have enough damage for Roshan. The Tyre is standing up the hill. They won't find anyone there. I think they're probably still just looking for the booster. They have the jump power. There's Gabby who can come under the cover of Shadow Blade. They do not want Pasha. Sentry wards go down. Slark has to cut his way out through the tree lines. The creeps actually hold him in, so it's the Sinister Gate, pulling Gabby back down. No other choice but to pop the ultimate. The Shadow Depth's away to safety. And no one really wants to find these kills. He just chains forward. Anything he can find. Tim does find one thing underneath his own observer board. Using that 4-4 combination of Avalanche Toss. Rod, no stun available from him either.
It will give away the ward though, I think. Roger, he's gonna bring the courier out? Yeah, because they don't want to waste another sentry. They already have the one on the low ground. And it's just so critical that you have these sentries against Double Shadow.
But then Slark can just find another fight. Roger in real trouble, being pulled back down again by the Shockwave, keeping him in range of the Slark's attack. And the next mark spot Pasha. They just go from one to the next, pulling back in. Both will crunch. And Tyler, no Ravage available, still on cooldown for 20 seconds. But he doesn't matter when he's got that very thick hide. TNC just can't break through. There's observe wards from both sides up on top of the hill. Both have extra information, but they look for an easier target. Over towards the ledge. Solo dives once again.
This is how you want to play the game though. Just keep finding these pickoffs. They've got this great vision place. Continue playing around it. Find kills on supports. Threaten for more, and then force the rotations and the TP from these big tanky cores. You can back off. But this is exactly how you want to play this kind of lineup on the side of TNC.
As long as Gabby can keep being involved in this too, just watch that agility start to rack up.
Yep.
19, 20 minutes in, up to permanent agility stolen. 20-minute bounty runes will start to appear. There'll be contest over this.
There will be a Scotty finished on the Medusa now. And VP all of a sudden a lot stronger. Might look to threaten for Sean. They won't take any damage from doing so. And as long as they can avoid a massive RP Kunkka combo, there's not a ton of AoE to worry about when you compare their massive.
Kunkka actually doesn't have a lot of map to work with, and in fact they're not even there. TP's coming back over from Kunkka, drops everything. Quick one charge that actually gives enough to fight. Ninja Boogie looking at the front lines. Tar connects over on makes if you can't Roshan and Magnus. He's ready for the jump in, but they're not finding the exact opening they want. Tim's will be the one who can jump in. He's got the blink dagger available. But they're swarming like sharks, TNC around the Roche pit. There's jump in for Tani. Avalanche and Toss. Roshan down to 800 HP. Magnus still waiting. The Rabbit able to actually clip on hit. And they've already got the kill over on Tani. Magnus now as you blink in with the RP. The follow-up as well with the Void, but the double chain frost is going to really start to bounce back down again. This is horrendous for TNC. The Immortal, of course, did manage to get into the Slark. So we will pounce himself away. But that's still Kunkka and Tiny down. The project, actually, that's not that bad for terrible. TNC when you think about it.
They got the Roche kill and a tower off that, so the Golden Fairy really didn't change much. Yeah, you're going to lose some farming time on RML, but I bring this up a lot. He spent his gold before he died. He got those 2 parts of the BKB, so he's not really losing gold. Obviously, you want to be on map and die. You give away bounty, but it's just making the best of a crappy situation.
It's not like VP can really capitalize on it. They've got Vegas to push in. Their Ravage is down. TNC's RP is down. So everything just goes back to the status quo. But is that actually in your favor for TNC? And knowing Rams is getting bigger and bigger. He's the number one net worth on the field. No one seems to be untouchable. Even the tight end is very
Silver Edge.
Yep, but with the Silver Edge up, Tim's comes in with the Avalanche toss. They're just breaking no one half. But then again, here comes your push shield. Here comes your support from Solo and Roger. No one pulled in, but then his Timber chains away from the boat of Kunkka. And they're looking to hunt. Gabby's shadow just worn off. He's got Silver Edge available once more. So if they return to no one, got the opportunity to do so. But there's 5 from Virtus Pro ready to fight. Even an early gem of True Sight on the Tidehunter. So no hiding inside the Shadow Blades.
And you can see this is the way VP wants to play. Enough with the shenanigans, enough with the guerrilla warfare.
Yeah,
They're putting on the red coat uniforms and just walking in straight lines. And kind of what you got to do when you're playing against lineups like the one TNC currently running. Just so frustrating to play against the Slark.
Fortified.
Your lineup is this slow with no. You don't really have a true Slark counter. The Timbersaw counts, but you can't catch him.
Your only other choice is to force down the lanes, right? Get a better trade-off. But while you've got Slark creeps, you've got Tim's doing exactly the same thing. You're going to intercept creep with the mid, making it so VP have to keep this creep wave alive.
And that's difficult when you consider Magnus is just going to spam shockwaves from safety. Bear in mind, another concern side of VP.
Radiant's
Well, Cossack.
There's your double grabbing Solo, and he doesn't have enough life to survive this as the Frost Shield stays in range, so Tim's craved up. Stay low, stay slow. Come back up. Both with that pipe. And your RP. They caught the dude, but you're rapid. It'll create a little bit more space. And no one, he's in the middle of this entire engagement. Turn up the Stone Gaze. This Boogie can't go anywhere. 3 heroes without buyback. Ramsey's got a lot of damage from the T4 towers. He's out of mana, but Gabby needs to kill off this Deucer. He has no other choice inside the shadows. He's able to do it in Armel. A triple kill now for the Kunkka. It was him that got it with the cleave damage. Even regathering up the gem, no one could not pick it up. They may even have another chance. X marks the spot. No torrent follow-up, just keeping him there, ready for the Slark to attack, but without the Silver Edge ready. They do not want to fight that Timbersaw.
And that fight is completely different if they aren't able to deny the Aegis in the pit. The game changer. If Medusa is able to play with that confidence, they're going to be able to fight differently. And great RP from Yor. They whipped the boat completely. I don't think they expected the skewer. But a little bit of a miscue, but that's not the downside, but the danger of playing as combo. You never, it's got to happen so fast, and getting it perfect is always going to be challenging.
But they're definitely showcasing the fact of the amount of damage. Like, the top 2 damage deals in that last fight went to the Timber as well as the Kunkka. Kunkka just finding these great cleaves, and they're looking to get into more action. Smoke up from TNC on the hunt. No one is going to be the primary target. Gabby Invis, and they couldn't have had this any better. Silver Edge to crack him, the boat will come in, and that's a very dead Timbersaw, down for a minute and a bit.
Smoke to the bounty room. Tried and true strategy. Probably going to see that a lot of this tournament.
Is economy actually, like, it's worth that much, right, to pick up the bounty rune? Because we always have the teams contest for it.
Problem is, if you start giving them away, you're effectively giving away a lead. So if you're confident that in a certain timing, like 5-10 minutes from now, you'll just take the game for sure, then by all means, go for it. But at this stage of the game, it's just so much money.
Ninja Boogie trying to come in to do the D-ward. Gabby's able to reveal this pretty easily when his Shadow Dance turns off. He's looking for a hunt. That's going to be a little too deep. But this one is a lot more achievable. Red caught out near the tier 2 tower. Looking to break him. They pull him back in. They're using both controls as the leash is still available. Gabby realizes he doesn't have enough damage to get through Ramsey. Uncle will come up as well. Pops the Ravage. He'll only connect over on the slot. And he'll go invis. And then Shadow Dance begins his TP. And they cannot stun him because they can't see him. Huge abilities going down for Virtus Pro when they didn't find the kill they wanted.
Man, Gabby and Armel are both playing so well, pushing their limits to the max. Just their decision making combined with their aggression. It's insane. He has 21 stacks on Slark. and he just got the Ravage burn. They have a full 2 minutes where he can just run around the map with no real threat whatsoever.
And now their itemization is even better to enable them. Tim's going to get pushed. It's coming in. Ninja Boot nearby, a double poison touch. No one's going to go into the fight, but he already gets broken once from the silver edge. The RP is ready to go. Blink in 1 second time, and that's exactly what he does. Blink straight into the fight, holding in both Timber and Duta. They were meant to beat the unkillable Ninja Boogie of all players. Come on with that. We'll take the kills.
It's perfect play from TNC. They recognize their timing advantage. Slark is strong. There's no Ravage. You're not afraid of Medusa Timso anymore because you know there's no actual follow-up. There's no peel. These heroes are just going to die, especially if you have that silver edge finish on Slark.
And BT's available, really, for Tiny. So he's to the front line as quick as he can. He brought the EKB Slark. So the best career could have asked. No one throws down the sharp drum, and they're actually tossing in no one with Tims holding him in position. The sun at the boat, and it's a dieback for Timbersaw. No one is down to 86 seconds without buyback available. Still no Deucer up either. Oh boy, this has escalated very quickly for Virtus Pro. TNC, they've got double silver edges. They'll mix the skewer back, but it won't stop them from playing the bottom lane of frags. But Timber dead for so long, they can go for more. Tims, he's looking for a toss-back target. Anyone to bring in range of the attack. Now, maybe Chain Frost, keep the distance. Oh, really? That bounces all the way out to Armel and back over. Okay, just let it keep going. Sure, why not?
See, no.
This is a huge lead that they can throw away. And the Conquer with a huge spree. It goes to solos, that's the upside at least, but maybe overstaying their welcome?
Just a little bit. I mean, that perfect demonstration of the last 2 minutes of both the strength and the weakness of TNC. They are so good at capitalizing on advantages and so bad at recognizing when they've got all they can get and it's time to go.
There's still like there was 3 missed initiations underneath tier 4 towers trying to grab
BP. Fine. You're fishing, it's all good. But at a certain point, when your boat is full to the brim, you can pull the lines in and take it back to shore. There's no need after the skewer misses and try and toss back on top. It's fine. You know, AK gold lead. They only lost Armel. Not out and
Yeah, they show they can deal with both the Timbersaw as well as the Deucer. I still think they have a lot of issues with the being held together by Spine and Double Chain Frost. Yeah, like they're always grouped up for this.
And bear in mind that they got the big lead because they capitalized on their huge window. Slark is a hero.
Underneath the tower, would really like to go for it, but they almost skewer him back away from the tower.
Just bear in mind, that fight was taken when Slark had a bonus 60 agility, not counting the 10 he had permanently. It's a snowball hero, not like... You don't want to fight the Slark with stacks. It's rule number 1. That was the fight that TNC wanted. VP gave it to them, so be it. Roche is going to spawn in a minute and a half, and that's going to be an even engagement. And see, you got to be careful, because it's still real difficult fight into the Medusa Tide combination.
Yep.
And so far, it's on the Armel show. I feel like every single engagement starts with an X into Torrent, followed by like an X into Boat, and immediately 2 VP heroes are dead, and TNC just wash over them like a tsunami. I don't think that that's something you can count on when you consider division advantage and the Radiant advantage of fighting near the pit.
You actually like this build coming in from Armel too, where he's going for the heart, as opposed to the Daedalus?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't mind it. It does give you a ton of damage. And the status resist is incredible when you're playing against Tide, but we'll see. I think he's got BKB already. I have no idea. I'm not a Kunkka player. I'll trust Armel.
Seems like a lot of defense items being put into the Kunkka where you think he'd be doing a lot more damage. And the aggression items in the MKB is coming in for the Slark. A lot of sentries everywhere from both sides. They keep vision control. Number 1 Gabby just walking up them. Double silver edge just make it difficult. And also an invis rune. The Magnus. Okay, yeah, okay. You put Nerd Charge on him. I think they understand that the sentry divine, but Gabby still decides to walk into him. Alright, will connect on the Deucer. Remember, there's 2 heroes who are not here at the moment. That's Tim's and no one. No one's on the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is the issue with the VP lineup, where they just don't have real catch. They have great team fights, sure, but they're being punished because Armel and Gabby can just continuously push the limits, and they're never really punished. Specifically, Armel, he operates with impunity, and at any point, he can catch a support next, and that guy's gonna die.
Roshan's Tim just had a lot of momentum to the bottom lane, so they have to be quick about this, or else they're going to have a really, really bad trade-off in the bottom lane. Now, Rapid catches over on 3, and double soulbind Frost is already out. Kunkka, oh, actually, BKB, they don't give a crap. They stand their ground. No one's already broken because they got the double silver, so they can even chain stuff. And then you find the kill on the Grimstroke. Ramsey isolated. Dusa is last one to kill off, and he held that zone gaze for so long. Kunkka will die. The Slark is on the hunt, and your RP, finally, it has been used. The double buyback in Virtus Pro. They want to help out Ramses. Titan and Grimstroke, they're on their way, keeping out towards the shrine. Ramses, the slow is actually going to live long enough. It's actually Slark with the slow is long enough, and with the double torrent, maybe now Armel can turn back off. 4 buybacks in total committed in from Virtus Pro. And
back
still, maybe they have enough from this. TNC is a triple kill for Ramsey. Now you bring him in from TNC over to Dusa. Does Ramsey have enough to survive? They're taking on top of Partish removal of the damage thanks to the Anchor Smash. Now maybe they do. Yep, they go after Ramsey. He's the primary target. Partish is blocking him up. Alright, you kill him on the way through. Why not? They're both dead for 2 minutes, and GG is finally called. Virtus Pro threw everything, including the kitchen sink at TNC. TNC threw it straight back in face.
Yep, and I think they played against TNC. They executed their lineup to perfection. I think VP does make a mistake trying to take that engagement into the Slark with 20 stacks. That's the turning point in this game. But I respect how they played that end game fight. Had to try and get some sort of initiation. They get a Ravage on 2, but they don't actually have the damage to kill Slark or Kunkka.
Yep.
Puck getting one too would be really nice for them to have that Hex, especially against Resolution.
Radiant
Dire smoke. Radiant scanning. They know they're around the pit. First potential Roach is still not for another 2 minutes, so this is just an aggressive maneuver with wards. And they're probably just gonna run. Yeah, even though you only see the Lich, you know they're all coming.
To make their way over, you gotta remember that Matthew's got the blink as well as the walrus punch. He'll throw the shards as well as the snowball. SVG in a little bit of trouble. The Inkswell comes right on top of him, but he's unable to get it off because he's already dead.
That long range orb as well as the shockwave there for a extremely low commitment kill.
Behold!
That's what I like about the blink on the Tusk. Something we talked about in draft. It's very effective, especially with Walrus Punch. It does a lot of damage. Ooh, boy, MSS. Just blinking out of there, but they've got 4 heroes ready to go if anybody were to come over, and the Abyssal Blade's finished on the PA.
Radiant's top tower is under
Just notice
attack.
MSS has been involved in all 12 of their kills, because it's not that surprising for the Tiny. So, and he's been active and everything, but
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
the support Tiny, I feel like your team doesn't. I mean, I guess they were snowballing, but then things get really awkward when we hit this little wall thing. Because now he's like, well, I'll wait to see if he dies here, but yeah, he should be dead.
Shards are on the opposite side, but Sinister Gaze just pulls you over them.
Yeah, you can get free movement during the gaze. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Bring it back into the shards. But when you're a Tiny, like, you always have to be snowballing hard, and you always have to be like an item ahead for the game to be good. And that works when you're support, when like your team's still winning. But if your team starts losing his support Tiny, then it's kind of awkward. Because if he was a core Tiny right now, he could have Blink, Shadow Blade, and then like probably some other item. But now he has a Blink, and he has to buy this little aura item for his team in the glass. Now he wants Albert to try and save his team. It's just weird. Like, you almost kind of want a 4-staff too, because you're like, oh, well, I'm a support Tiny, so I got to be maneuverable. They've really looked lost since that Aegis went down, but we're still waiting for the butterfly fight for the Morphling. And once again, Attune is going to be forced into this MKB build like he was versus the AM, and it looks like Leo Style is going to try and delay him towards that by picking.
Radiant team ban.
Month, and they're 6-0 with it. This is
they give it to Ego every time.
I was wondering about that actually. I didn't get a closer look necessarily, so I can't say for sure, but they are 6-0 with the hero, so I do know that. I would think they give it to the Ego. Of course, I guess it could be a Faith Beyond basis as well, but the Naga and the Medusa bands, Darkseer band coming out from Chaos, so Chaos at least assumes it's safely going to be a safe lane faceless void.
Right, yeah, it looks like it. And Darkseer was Faith Beyond's apparently most intimidating hero in the game 1 of their VP series, so they banned that out, they banned out the Beastmaster. I think this is the right approach from Chaos. Faith Beyond is the player to watch on the side of eHome, and he's definitely the biggest issue. And it was the only reason why eHome stood a chance in game 1, is just because of how well he did against HFN's Naga Siren. That he got that early Necrobook, he was mowing down towers, but the rest of the team wasn't able to keep up with the pace that Faith Beyond set, so I think it's fine to target him.
You know, kind of looking back at these stats now, too, I was thinking about Pain and what they may be picking. I noticed Weaver is actually their 3rd most picked hero in their, post 7.20, and they were actually 6-0 with the hero up until that match earlier today with it. So, to their credit, they were having success, at least in the past, but yeah, it just overall does not feel like a great hero right now, and definitely wouldn't be good this game. You're dealing with a faceless foot already.
Yeah, exactly.
So just worth pointing that out, though. I feel like Enigma is up there, though. That's actually a really interesting one as a possible offlane option. But again, you're already dealing with the faceless void, so maybe not there. Nature's Prophet, maybe. Oh, this is up there.
Could go back to the Tidehunter. Did well in game 1. Tavo was he got that early Vlads, and even though they didn't group up with it, it still proved to make him very, very tanky, which is what made his Ravages so intimidating, because Ehome could just never finish him off in time before he got a Ravage off. So yeah, that would work. I mean, Chaos apparently used to play a lot of Axe. I think Axe is underrated. I think he's a very strong hero, but they're going to go back to the Tavo Tidehunter.
Good reaction to the Faceless Void Chrono. If, yeah, he's outside of it at least, or I suppose that it kind of works both ways, but more so for the Tidehunter, because yeah, as long as he's outside of the Chronosphere, then he could Ravage to kind of stall things.
Yeah, and a good hero to lane against the Faceless Void as well, just because Anchor Smash is on such a low cooldown. Faceless Void can't reliably time walk all that damage off. He has to keep going back into melee range to get last hits, and Tidehunter can just constantly be Anchor Smashing for the damage reduction and the nuke damage itself.
Yeah. Well, third pick for Ehome. Who the hell knows? Let's be honest now. They're 5 support. Probably on the list there.
Yeah, I'm curious what they had paired with a Void in the past, because Lich is banned out. I think Grimstroke is pretty good. I would be okay with them going for Grim.
Not the greatest synergy yet with Grim, with his ulti at least. I mean, Inkswell is always going to be decent, I suppose, with like a Faceless Void, but...
Yeah, that's the main thing.
TNC Predators turn
an easier
to
role. It's a very simple task. Use your Empower spell on your carry so he can farm faster and try and hit some RPs down the road. I think it's one of the more straightforward heroes to put a stand-in on, just because, you know, it's not overly complicated what you have to do. So we may see more of that. I actually would like to maybe see Magnus banned by VP, just to be like, look, yeah, it's maybe not the most different direction.
Take him out of the comfort zone. Why not? Just do it. One ban.
okay, the potential weakness of this team is the fact that they're playing with someone they're not nearly as used to. In the interview that we heard earlier, they said, yeah, we had like 2 days of prep with him. We'll be fine. We're going to wing it. If you can actually say, by targeting in that phase, that, okay, we get a hero out, take away that strategy, it seems like a winning play.
Yeah, it could be, but at the same time, we don't know what else they have up their sleeves.
Yeah, Rear is not just a one-hero spammer.
Yeah. Right? I mean, he played Earth Spirit for them before, and they crushed that game as well, so we'll see. I think VP is going to ban Mag. I'm not sure. Maybe they will first pick it themselves. We'll see. But I think they have more to show. TNC does.
It does seem like a very important thing, though, to be able to do if you do have a stand-in, saying, okay, look, it's going to be a linear strategy for you. It's going to be much easier, and then you don't have to worry about those arguments of who's playing to who's trying to mull to who. So if TNC is able to do that again in the draft, all of a sudden they start to inch up maybe more and more in the predictions. Maybe we'll actually see you guys for the first time today not predict VP after we get through this draft, but we're going to
don't get too crazy here, Rich.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
We're riding VP today.
Like, and I literally were talking before, like during the break, we were like, how many times are we going to see 9 VP predictions? If we see them drop down here, there is a potential for it.
It is possible for sure.
It could just be a day of VP Dota.
Yeah.
It actually could be on the main stream if they aren't able to grab this here.
Dusa. Because they obviously banned Kunkka first, and in response to that, they want to ban the Dusa. So
if they felt confident in their ability to play like anti-mage or something, maybe that would change. But also, no, VP may just ban the anti-mage and then put you in a tough spot.
They're not going to ban it anymore. I think just banning the Magna could be a good play. Why not? There's nothing else to ban for you. Or maybe they just want to face it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, some teams seem to have found different ideas and ways to play against it. Like the Timbersaw was one of those that came out. So it plays very slow, and I think that's something VP have always been good at taking advantage of. Is you're going to play slow, we're going to crush the lanes, run at you, and just win the game in 20 minutes. They didn't take that approach last game because they'd already committed to Medusa. So perhaps this time they leave Magnus in and play a more fast-paced game of their own.
Well, I guess they didn't expand the Medusa ban because they're eating in their bonus time quite a bit.
There's still Lich is probably the other. Maybe Big Hero being considered.
Lich, yeah. Actually, I spoke to Alan Nahas just in the break, and he said Lich Grimstroke actually didn't win so much. It was just Lich by himself that won a lot, but when the combo was actually present, they lost most of their games together.
I've seen a lot of Lich Grim like win and lose just because basically every team was first two picking Lich and Grim together for a long period of time, and I'm not sold on Grimstroke being actually like the best support in Dota right now. I feel like he seems to just have some gaps.
Let's go Magnus first pick again.
Io, we didn't even mention the Io, but he was still in the pool. So.
They go back for the Lich. Of course, Tusk. The new tag team spell of Tusk is ridiculously strong. It empowers so many heroes. You can't fight that lane, honestly. Like, Tusk +1 is incredibly hard to fight into.
So you can't fight him. You can't fight the Lich +1.
The lanes are gonna be hard.
You give up on the laning stage.
Don't give up.
You've got Magnus too. That's what I was just mentioning. It's like Magnus is here that's going to start slow, and Magnus doesn't have an amazing laning stage, so you need to make sure VP don't just destroy you there.
If you want to fight Tusk, you need like a Dazzle. Oh well, they have a Dazzle.
Dazzle plus something.
Dazzle,
like Troll or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you ever get locked into a shard with 2 heroes hitting with a tag team on, the damage is so massive.
Is Gabby could see a Dazzle Weaver? He likes his Weaver. Although you've got Magnus, so you almost want to get a melee hero, which is where
you probably want to get a melee hero, but
Jog Troll kind of come to mind, maybe.
5 seconds remaining.
Even PA, blow up that bitch.
Huh?
Lots of possibilities, but they played Dazzle as hard last game. Right?
5 position
on
last
Ninja
2 games in a row now.
On 2 games in a row.
Yeah, that seems to be where they head with this hero. And the Magnus is just so nice as an opening hero because it literally means there's almost 10 different carries that you can play. So you can pick a Slark. Like last game with Slark works because you have Magnus. If you don't have it, you lose that game.
But also, you know, the Kunkka is, I kind of feel like vital to the threat because he makes the early game so strong, where Magnus is really weak. Not having that Kunkka, I'm gonna look forward to what they actually pick for Amel.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of heroes that go really well with the Magnus in the mid lane that at the same time can also carry you through the early game.
And he doesn't have last pick again. It's going to be no one who has the 10th pick, so it could mean, you know, you're not going to maybe get a favorable matchup in your mid lane, which is something I think is so key to this matchup between VP and TNC is how that mid lane goes.
Wait, didn't they have
5 seconds remaining.
VP had last pick last game too, right?
Yeah, 2 games in a row, I think we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because last game it was what? The 10th pick Timbersaw?
10th pick Timbersaw, yeah. Against the 2nd pick Kunkka.
So Tiny Band is classic go-to, can play 3-4 position. We saw last game. No surprises there.
They banned the OD again, even though there's nothing really that shows. What do you think that is? They think it's a strong hero, I guess.
Strong hero.
The SEA region in general, like OD is rated really highly in SEA.
Yeah.
Pretty much every pub game has one.
Interesting, TNC themselves aren't considering it though. I mean,
Amel plays a really good OD as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you've got Magnus, but you're typically just looking at maybe at one empowered.
Getting 2 is really greedy. Like you can go like PA plus something and then put the PA middle, but it's so greedy. And it oftentimes doesn't really pay off.
Virtus Pros turn to
Anti-Mage. Banned out. Well, it might just be because for the Magnus.
Yeah, but I guess there's just so many other heroes you can...
But Mag AM is really strong in the sense that AM is weak because he has to go for Battle Fury. If you can go Vlads into Manta style, he actually becomes a monster with the Empower on him.
And those are 2 supports NAM isn't too afraid of. They have no catch for him. Like, Tusk, yeah, he's got some stuns, but he's not really going to catch an AM ever. You're going to be chasing him around the map.
You can snowball after him, but
5
that will just kill himself, probably.
Yeah. So, what a VP one. This may just be like a jug game for them with the Lich Jug we've seen a bit.
Terribly.
TB
is one of the better answers to Magnus because the game is very slow, the lane is not too strong.
And most of the Magnus partners are very physical damage based, so you're just, you've got reflection against them and you've got high armor. So.
We see like a lot of PA Magnuses against TB, and it always boils down to how does the team fight actually go.
Yeah.
TB against most Mag partners, as you said, is very good.
A1. You want to get some ways to try and stop Sunder coming out, like some actual lockdown, not just an RP.
I was just looking at PA here. Like, I don't believe in Jug versus TB, like, almost ever.
Do you think PL is still viable?
PL is viable.
You got Empower, you can...
PL Mag is very, very slow.
Yeah.
Because the lane is going to be very rough for both of them. And then you usually want the hero, like, that's why PA is so good. You need, like, you don't even need items. You just get Empower and you already deal a lot of damage. But PL with Empower is... Okay, they do go for the PA. Yeah. Much faster approach. I like it a lot better than...
Mag BA versus TB. Seen this a lot. It's not like an instant counter. It's just both teams have ways to win fights.
Without the Mag, I actually don't think PA can ever compete with the TB. But with the Mag, it's quite possible.
Both teams be looking for some of those more team fight heroes now.
10 seconds
for the mid lane, for sure. Like
mid lane, I mean off lane, like Pasha. We've seen the Tide last game. Those kind of heroes still, to me, stand out a little bit.
Hunter. I'm surprised we don't see like Centaur or something more.
Heroes
just to put on lane pressure.
Yeah, very good in the laning stage with the new Retaliate. Surprised
against like Tusk Centaur against the PA Dazzle sounds really easy. Go for Tide Hunter again, okay. Yeah. I mean, this time they can't get Slark.
Centaur's not a Vladspire.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
True. And Tide, obviously very afraid of the OD. OD is already banned, so they don't really care about that. They can't really pick Slark anymore. It would be very awkward.
You want probably some magic damage type hero for the mid lane here.
Yeah, it could be Tinker. Tinker is really good. Armor plus a really good Tinker.
Yeah.
Hero is really slow as well, though. You have Mag, Tinker.
There's no catch really for Tinker right now, but can you win? You have nothing to hit buildings with.
Yeah,
but
it's not great.
You just let the game drag, and maybe eventually you're. But I don't know. You're just letting the game drag, and at some point TB gets too farmed. I feel.
What else do you want to pick? Like a Dragon Knight to get to some more tower push, some more front line. But it's also weird with a Mag. That's why I don't like Mag too much. Sometimes it just makes the lineups look so weird. Like it's really good mid late game, obviously because of Empower, but just the laning stage is always rough when you have a Mag. If you go even in the laning stage, Mag teams usually win, right?
Maybe they want the Timber Skull. There we go. They got the Timber Skull. I was just looking. I was like, what is the magic damage hero that kind of maybe gives them some push?
OD's banned.
I see Tide TB. Yeah.
OD's banned as well.
Yeah, this is a good Timber Skull game. That makes sense.
But still, tower push non-existent, so they will have to win.
They can pressure towers. Like Timber doesn't push towers, but he pressures them very early.
Yeah.
Because whichever lane he goes to, if you get off to a good start, towers are going to start falling because no one can fight the Timber.
But they win a team fight, and they're not going to get too much out of it until PA actually gets like this Deso and BKB, all these items up. They actually destroy buildings. What can you lane against this Timber that's really good? Like obviously OD's out. Best hero against it.
It's no one. So
Monkey King is not really even that good, honestly. It's not bad, but it's not as hard counter as it used to be. And obviously you can't put Tide middle.
TNC
be safe lane.
Predators
no one. Zeus, Pugna. I think Pugna or Zeus.
Yeah, the Pugna actually sounds like a decent idea.
Yeah, Zeus is very scary against PA. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think the
Pugna's
Zeus
good. But they're probably they're gonna ban out Pugna, I think.
Pugna, Monkey, Invoker, something. I don't think you want to Invoker. The lane doesn't
The lane's
go
rough.
too well, yeah.
The lane's rough, yeah. Honestly, even SF could work with the teamfight lineup. You can go for a fast mech. We've seen that before.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm looking at SF Pugna here, and no one likes both of them a lot, so.
Coming down to the wire here. Now, what do you expect to actually get locked in at this point?
Well, for TNC, they need
304 position.
They need like a Tim's hero.
Unless they swap the mag. I think they're going to stick. Let's just keep putting Rio on mag. Playmaker, I think, get some control and lockdown, like something to try and stop TB getting Sunder coming out.
Well, what's that on position 4 now, though? Like, a lot of position 4s are banned and picked already.
Yeah, or Spirit Tiny are the two that, for me, come to mind the most. So without those two...
My Task of Horse is the other one, and Elder Titan, but they're both picked or banned.
Perhaps you look into putting Mag as a 4 and...
I mean, you could go Earthshaker, but it's so damn slow. That's not really a thing, yeah. But Magnus as 4 is also weak. It's just weak.
Must have some, like, Spirit Breaker or something.
Yeah.
Full of J-Storm.
It will have to be something like that, honestly.
Yeah.
They definitely need lockdown. They have a lot of damage potential, but they need lockdown.
Yeah.
Port Punka. Oh, it's banned. Oh, man.
Got the Husker. So not the
Pros
type option.
Yeah. But of course, Bat Rider.
I like that a lot.
So it's a position 4 mag.
Could be position for Bat, but...
It could be. I mean, it gives him catch, but it's like... I don't know. Weird. Very weird.
What's weird? Well, you mean just having it, like, one of those heroes as a 4 position, or...?
No, I mean, Bat mag could potentially be really good, but obviously Lich only reduces the physical damage. And the TB doesn't lane well against the Bat at all.
Yeah.
So they have a huge window of opportunity there. But just like for the game, it feels...
They didn't really have any catch, though, come mid-game. Like, that's where it feels nice, because you're not just relying... Like, Mag RP was kind of what you look at for your teamfight, your catch. So I think that's where they needed, you know, Earth Spirit, like the tiny type hero to just start a fight off, find a pick, and Bat Rider at least gives you that.
I mean, definitely if they go mid-late game, as like even gold, I think they have an advantage, but I just feel like the laning phase might be a bit rough. We'll see what they pick middle lane, actually.
Yeah, what VP. Mention the Pugna. It gives you another magic damage option here if they do get something like a Pugna.
No. SF is pretty scary to play into PA and Bad Rider.
SF feels...
But the lane is going to be very easy against the Timber.
And the new way we've seen people itemize the SF with the aura, like the Greaves and stuff can kind of
work. So do you go for just Pugna, okay.
Seems like the safest.
Yeah. I mean...
Ooh, so Rio picks up the Bat, which means...
Off-lane Bat?
I mean, Rio or Bat. It's like one of his signature heroes.
Yeah, we spoke about it before, yeah. Was banned out last game, picked up this game.
Yep.
Now with everything in front of us right now, who do we think comes out on top in this draft? Do we have a clear winner here?
What I think is going to happen, they're going to try to put the Tide against the Bad Rider, and then a TB against the PA lane with the Task as support. And potentially they shuts down PA, and Tide, I think he's okay against Bad. Not super good, but playable, because you purge off the charges.
If he dives on you.
Yeah, so I think that's what I should try to do.
I'm going TNC. I think TNC have it. We're gonna go against the mold. You know,
I mean, he's
just
first time breaking the mold.
He's just doing it because he wants to be a rebel, you know.
Yeah, he's just rebelling. This is God's rebellious
We've been agreeing for too long, Black. We just went together on 4 VP predictions in a row.
Yeah, honestly, Black, on the way over here, you could not agree with anyone on anything. In the bus ride over, you found a way to argue about absolutely everything.
Because they disagree with me.
You were just straight up making shit up. You spent a good 10 minutes just retelling history. Yeah.
Sometimes it happens.
So make up who's going to win this game too.
I mean, I could literally just say TNC just to mock him, but I'm going to go with logic. I'm going VP.
There we go. For the first time, we have agreement on... I want to give a major shout out to our biggest partner here on the desk, in SAP. Thank you for being the official analytics partner of the desk. But now, ready to jump into it. For the first time, we have our analysts not in agreement, but we're going to get to hear what the casters say as we jump into the action.
You know, it's really nice when the panel doesn't agree. controversy stems great discussion, unless Black's involved.
Black to discuss. I don't know what black is to discussion. It's sort of like a
black is
it's like the mute button on your remote. But it said it's on your brain.
With black, it's just like I've changed different language on my remote. Hang on, this makes no sense to me. I don't speak this language of his. Yeah. It's not even German. It's whatever. It's just unique to him. Anyway, drafting phase from TNC looks to be everything you probably expect from them. With the Magnus PA, they've already had success with this earlier today. Bat Rider, as Gods was pointing out, another signature offlaner for TNC. Do you like how the Timbersaw finishes up their lineup?
I do. I think it's a really, really hard counter to Timber and Tide. And
to Terra?
Wow. Tide and Terrorblade, yeah. I don't know how I feel about this Bat Rider, though. Tidehunter is traditionally like the hard counter to Bat, because you kind of just waddle in, and even if you get lassoed, you're going to cleanse it.
Ninja Boogie is in a world of absolute hurt. Couldn't walk away.
Lich Tusk.
Yeah, it's a real combination.
Oh, look at the mag. Okay, never mind. I thought he was going to do some fancy skewer play onto the high ground, but it's actually on cooldown. I think Tim's is just going to pull this creep wave. Yeah. You know, now that teams are aggro tri-laning instead of the safe lane, you know, you got to switch up where you actually pull those creeps. Yep. Or you're going to run mid. No comment. I don't know.
Oh, what we saw it during the minor, right? It was pulling creep waves off the side lane and dragging them in towards the mid lane so that your mid call would actually be like a full level above the other mid. Or something ridiculously stupid like that. This is going to be a hard lane for the PA.
Yeah, for sure.
With the removal of PMS, which was not normally made this mid lane a lot more possible, she's got that basic stout shield to go up against no one spam of Nether Blast.
And no one did a really good job as well of ensuring he hit those Nether Blasts to start the laning phase. If you're going to win this matchup hard as a Pugna, you've got to heavily harass before PA has the ability to trade with you, like level 3, level 4. Look at this mag coming middle. They're actually just going in.
They're going to skewer him a long way back, though. Able to do so. This will give it a little bit more time for PA to have another Stifling Dagger. No one. A quick Fairy Fire. Doesn't have any stick charges available, and he'll actually get... No, we won't. You've got the Phantom Strike available for Gabby. They add the pressure while up on top lane. Ninja Boogie, the same combination as before. It's just this full-on run. Solo does have the sticky napalm on him, but he'll sound up. TP's going to arrive from Tim's. He's still only level 1. Skewer will come off cooldown a second time. Doesn't want to push the Lich too far away, because that's what the sticky napalm's for. Keep the slow up and then let the beat down come. Ramses. Okay, now the skewer will come, but stick charges from Lich. Give him the life back again. Roger, he's low himself, and a double creep wave of the dire side will still dissuade Virtus.pro from coming in underneath the tower. A third TP's in as Ninja Boogie returning to the lane. It looks like Solo should die unless Ramses wants to take the aggro of the creep wave. He's been able to do so.
But there.
This is just like, they're just kiting out the aggro so well, Virtus.pro.
Yeah, and they ensured that multiple creep waves actually died to that top tower. They're going to get XP off this one, but they lost a full wave of XP on the dire side. Maybe just the 2 creeps. Didn't see exactly how far away they were, but...
Skewering back Roger. This is nice for TNC. No Poison Touch leveled up, however. He went for Shadow Wave instead. Solo will deny himself up to the tier 2 tower. Could have done it to the neutrals, but did it to the tower instead.
It's a real curious game thus far. I like the last pick, Pugna, just because they have now some sort of peel for the PA. I think the key hero in this game has got to be the Armel Timber. One of my favorites to watch on this hero. And if he goes off much like no one did in the previous series...
They're snowballing forward with 3. All they got to do is turn on the Frost Shield, and the Bat Rider has no way to escape. Ramses even secures the last hit. Well, then they move towards the mid lane as Tim's. They wait for the slow from the Phantom Assassin Stifling Dagger.
Dire's top tower.
Tim's got to get in front of no one and away from that Invis rune. It skewers him over, but no one picks it up while he's being skewered. That's not part of probably the original plan.
I'm trying to look what I'm trying to think of who's gonna actually like be the aggressor in this game. And strangely enough, I actually think it's gonna be VP just because of their supports. I mean, Tusk, Earth Spirit, Elder Titan just seem to be by far the best 4s in the patch right now, and that with a Lich on top of it, like this is one of my favorite support combos in the game. You're so strong in the laning phase, roaming, and team fights later on. And even though Bat outmatches a TB in the lane, when you have these 2 supports, I mean, any core can be protected.
And they are looking to go again. Rio kind of knows it's coming. That's why he's sticking napalming over the tree line, trying to keep tabs on where Roger's moving. Because it does kind of buff up Ramses every... Okay, yeah. They found Ninja Boogie. Walk up, turn on the tag team, and Ramses very happy to pop the Metamorphosis just to find the instant kill, while no one is diving heavily underneath the tier 1 tower in the mid. And this will prompt TP support. He's got Nether Blast and Decrepify available. Gabby is very, very low. So the Nether Blast is out trying to take the creep wave, but Gabby just plays the distance game. Jumps back in, then Ninja Boogie takes the kill with a Shadow Wave. This bottom lane also seems kind of stupid. One walks in and burns the Whirling Death. The other then walks up, hits the Anchor Smash. No one does any damage anymore. But up on top lane, once again the combination's out. That Frost Shield from Lich, always the front liner. But Metamorphosis wears out and VP will back off.
And this is a repeat of the original series we saw where you have one offlaner.
Tim's dead actually. Like they're battling for the 5-minute runes again. And it's Roger and Solo doing it just as a duo.
Yep. And VP just ahead in all 3 lanes. Not just that, but Rior has just got no game. Level 3, sure, but he has no real last hits. He's going to be running around with Tranquil Boots pretty soon, but then what? And in the meantime, mid lane, look at that mid tower. It's already below half HP.
You're against a Pugna. And Gabby can't harass him out. He always requires support, and that's where the Magnus is meant to come in. But this Magnus is still, he's level 2, 5.5 minutes in. He's got no space, but with a haste rune, they've already got the slow on no one. He's got to dodge the skewer. Can't do it, however. Pull back in, but Decrepify Dre just killing off the Phantom Assassin and getting all the life back to survive. Another Nether Blast out. Ninja Boogie, no Shadow Wave available. And even Tuskar begins his TP in, which forces TNC to back off. And they killed the Bat Rider on top lane while that was going on.
He didn't use Blur on Gabby. And he just died.
Unseen, but not unskewered.
Yep. The hands go up in the air for everyone out there who doesn't have vision cam on Kyle.
I mean, just I feel like no one is one of the few players who's going to be able to make that play, but at the same time, you got to kind of see that coming. I think that if Gabby, I thought Gabby was baiting with the Blur, and I'm like, oh, this is cute. You know, they're gonna guarantee the kill on Pugna, but no. Unfortunately, no one picks that up, and he still has staying power in the lane too. Up top, Terrorblade.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I'd like to see Tim's get aggressive here. You have the Invis rune, and it's Bat versus TB. If you can keep those stacks up, Terrorblade will die, but got to be cautious.
He saw him.
5 stacks.
Tim's walked in range of the tower's detection.
There's a kill if you dive. Where's Tim's?
Well, he's coming over now. He backed off to put down an Observer Ward, but man, Bat Rider's had to go so far now. Tag team Roger. He knows how deep Bat Rider is in, and a level 1 Gush takes away all of the movement speed. Solo wants to try and keep on top of Tim's. Don't let him just skewer away. He'll take Solo with him, but the snowball had already begun from Roger. Tim's will run to the Roshan pit. Difficult to survive. The Nether Blast from Noah will probably ensure the kill and make sure that Roshan doesn't do anything, even though that slam was close. It's still 9-3, and Virtus Pro, they are just playing everywhere around TNC, but there's one lane.
Yep.
One lane for TNC that's rocking it, and that is on bottom lane. The Timbersaw, he is the highest net worth on the board at the moment. But that won't stop Ramses and Solo from just stealing the life of Tim's, killing him underneath the tower. Armel's able to finish off his own TP out. He actually went to the top lane. All that life got drained out by the Pugna, which is why Armel is already in retreat and burning his wand charges.
This is the right move from VP. They do a great job of making sure that their heroes are matched up properly throughout the entire game. And this critical part where you swap from the early to the mid game is you got to make moves like this. You have to recognize, hey, we can't deal with Timber. Only the Pugna can. He TP's down. Now all of a sudden, Timber goes from hitting your tier 2 to being relatively ineffective up top in the safe lane, just trading with the Timber.
They're going to try and fight again. Terrorblade doesn't have Sunder Revival. The damage from Armel got pulled too far away and put too many points in reactive armor in order, like, just not having the damage output to kill Terrorblade with one swing.
Yeah, when you play against Timbers nowadays, you got to just try and avoid them. Keep them hemmed into the side of the map that you're least concerned with, and right now, that's going to be your safe lane.
Tim's is dead. Ravage burn from Pasha. There's so much damage. Anchor Smash plus the Gush. The Magnus just has no life to survive this, you'd think. The Mammoth would be strong. Roger's on the run away from Armel. Easy dodge of the chakra. Mid tower also gets taken down while that's going on. Gabby, Tims, and Boogie not finding any kind of real defense for it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I like this though. Roger, like, you can't contest Timber, but he stops him for a wave. He gets a bit of experience, and now look who's back. Yep,
no one. Decrepify, Drain. He's got Timber Chain available and is able to get out to the trees.
Yep. This is really smart from no one. Just keep following around this Timber Saw. Don't let him get a free game. And there's a tower here, so you're fine just continuing to chase and pressure. They have good vision behind the tower as well. This is the dream for VP. They already got the mid tower. Mid lane though, Roger in some trouble.
Yep, yeah, to Snowball. He's going to the range creep. Ninjabugi will stay with him. That's with a soul and double damage rune. Actually trying to shard block out Tims. Didn't work the way he hoped it would. Now Phantom Assassin rotates over. They want this kill on Gabby, and they're able to claim it as well.
Radiant are scanning.
Rune spawning in just a moment.
It's another Drain attack. Timber actually faking his Timber Chain. Not wanting to commit it just to pure defensively.
VP with a 4K gold lead already. Really subtle. I feel like a big part of that is just Batrider, who's currently below Roger in net worth. Really suffering, and just the product of that super strong tri-lane from VP. Not much Reor can do, but casually farm the jungle. And after all the nerfs Batrider's taken the last 2.5 years, this is just not where you want to be. He is very much a hero that has to snowball and have a dominant laning phase, or you just look like a creep.
TNC does have a good advantage, and that's the Dire Observer ward that's up on top lane. It's been watching all the movement of Virtus Pro, so things like this where Timbersaw walks into the lane, he's okay with it. Like, they already know how much backup is behind him. They know there's 3 heroes. They know they cannot kill the Timber by themselves, especially while Ravage is down. In 17 seconds, they'll be back up. And with the arrival of Tuskar, it's a little bit more dangerous. More control against the Timbersaw. They found a good target in Solo. Stifling Dagger. He'll quickly Frost Shield as a level 3. And with the Reflect, TNC not feeling like they can engage, but up on top lane. The tower continues to be pressured. Solo will die to Gabby. And they're really TPing in hard. The defense of the top tier 2 tower. Paramount for TNC. A good Sharkum into the back lines, but no one, again, stealing that life out of the Timbersaw, forced him to retreat for half a second, but that doesn't stop the rest of TNC pushing forward. Pasha with a good Ravage. No one as well as Pasha able to complete their TP out. Roger will not be as lucky. But a big defensive Ravage that's at least able to save the life of 2 cores.
Yeah, that was well worth it. Yeah, you don't find kills, but to your point, when you save 2 heroes, it's like -2 kills, which is kind of like getting the kills. Right?
Sure.
Math wasn't my strong suit, but we'll call it a plus.
It's by taking advantage or not giving advantage.
Indeed.
That's what you're going with.
I like this Aether Lens on the Pugna. No one going to skill the health down as well. Standard stuff. Looks like Ramses is going to go for the Manta, which you just need to do in a game against a Batrider. You have to have multiple methods of cleansing yourself of stickies. And I fear for Reor in this game, man. Already faced with a tall task. Coming into ring for Cuckoo, unable to attend the event, and he had a very grim game in the first one of the series. Just kind of a non-factor in power bot. Now he's in a position where you have no game impact yet, and all you can really do is farm.
you just wait it out, right? Like, we have to remember this is a Magnus PA lineup. No matter what point of the game you get, this lineup still works really, really well. You just need a couple of stacks, which they have prepped up a lot. As long as Tim doesn't die to the Ancients again, all they need is, yeah, Dazzle can walk over, and let Gabby take the quad stack of Ancients.
I love this move, though. They sniffed out those Ancients, they have an idea what's going on, and they're just going to walk straight into the pit. And this is why I think they love this Tidehunter. He's always getting a Vlad. This game going for the Medallion as well. We saw this in the game they played, Game 3 against eHome. It's so much minus armor, and you're just so strong. Your team fight presence by just waddling in as a watermelon.
Oh, Timber. It's going to throw the Chakra Menace right on top of Roshan. Radiant will still get the last hit on Roshan, and Ramses will have the Aegis, the Immortal. But the trade-off is there's a lot of money coming into the Phantom Assassin, and she is trying to complete up the Desolator before the next fight. This is hard. still short a fair chunk of cash.
No one on TNC really having the greatest time. And this is, I think, more of a support disparity than anything else, because we've seen Tusk involved in 9 kills, Lich involved in 8, whereas you look at the side of TNC, Dazzle and Mag, like, how do you get involved? How do you make moves around the map in a game like this? It's just really not possible, and it's part of the reason we see Tusk banned quite often.
Yeah, Magnus is basically just a buff. That's all he is.
Well, did Tusk in the minor, didn't he have like 100% contest ratio? I want to say he did.
He was pretty close. Like he was very high up there. Oh, skewer over towards mid. This is the real Ramses as well. Remember, Sunder is available, and he has the Aegis Immortal, so they'll commit the RP. Sunder will not come off, but now the rest of Virtus Pro are coming over. So RP burned, but the Terror Blade does have to lose his Aegis to the Immortal. The trade-off from Virtus Pro is going to try and beat the bottom towers. Yep. They're already creep skipping it out. Armel's looking for his own revenge up on top, but there's a Timbersaw trying to push buildings against a Pugner. He is so slow in comparison.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, and this another way to deal with the Timber. Just ignore him. You've already slowed him down. You stopped him from snowballing thanks to the rotations of no one, and now you just walk down lanes as 5. Like,
going after Ramses. He's still got Sunder, and they don't have a stun available, so Ramses can just steal that life. Of course, at the same time, one charge from PA, not to mention the crits. They work through this Terror Blade real fast. Keep in mind that was before the Desolator even arrived onto the Templar Assassin. You're getting that damage on bottom lane. A skewer out from Magnus. Ravage will pop. It will connect over on 2. But at the same time, you kind of already had the lasso on solo. Chain Frost is available. Ninja Boogie, he'll Shallow Grave and stay a little alive a little longer, while the Chain Frost, Armel and Batrider, they cop the primary brunt of that attack. And Timbersaw can chain herself away as Phantom Assassin just wants to run out, blurred up. Gonna find no one. And if he really wants to try and take this fight, there's no one. Okay, up he'll go. Solo will move over. Level 4 Frost Shield makes it difficult. Ninja Boogie's already down. A blink forward. Gabby! He'll grip through no one and try and find a little bit more damage. Nope, he'll try and TP out and then die. Ninja Boogie TP'd in, but it's a little too late to help his teammate.
The one issue with this full aggro build from no one, he's got the Aether Dagon, sure, but only 6 armor when he's away from that Tidehunter plus 4 Vlads, and PA represents a ton of minus armor at the moment. This is before the -3 armor talent, so you're going to more than negative when you're bad at Dazzle.
Well, their Observer was just so good from Virtus Pro. 2 aggressive ones on the hill and on the side, allowing them all the information they require to try and take this fight. Maybe against the Timbersaw it's a little bit more difficult.
Nice fear.
Ninja Boogie will finally go to count from Roger, and RP catches through, but there's no follow-up to this. It's like watching a black hole with no other heroes around. It's just disappointing.
That's just typical VP Dota 2. There's still 5 guys.
Yep.
There's no lasso anymore. Your Timbersaw, while he is tanky, not really much damage output just yet. And you can see that was a great fear timing, or not fear, Sinister Gaze from Solo's Lich, because he interrupts the Timber Chain, which means that they have now another 4 seconds with which to deal maximum DPS. And they just walk up the high ground. They still got meta.
Why not? Why not indeed? Meta will now time out. Ramsey's backed off with a real hero, but with Dazzle still being dead for 4 seconds, they know they can take the tower and then potentially back out. 23 seconds till Ravage is up, but they look for the fight and said Timbersaw. How quickly did they just kill him? A buyback comes down from the Timber. Lasso pulling Terror Blade back almost to tier 4 towers. The hump breaking free as the Frost Shields are up. Ramses tries to dodge down with the Mana Style. Still got some one charges and Sunder available, removing the life of Ninja Boogie and putting it back into itself.
Ravage,
the melee ranks they haven't brought down just yet. Ravage, you're right. Pasha, he's baiting it. He wants TNC to come a little bit further forward. While Dazzle is down, there's no saving grace for them. VP will push this issue. While there's no RP, it is Virtus Pro with that big power. Gabby, he'll go in deep, and now Pasha, the Ravage, it hits all 4 remaining TNC alive players. And Timbersaw, he'll chain himself away. PA will buy back, and now they force back. TNC looking for their own kills, but the drain from no one, pulling it out of the PA, and the Dagon to find the kill. TNC, and VP just want to go to the next game. They want this done quick and dirty. And it looks like they're going to get this. Another buyback. This one out from the Magnus.
Dire's bottom barracks.
They've committed almost every single one. Only Batrider hasn't bought back in the last 2-3 minutes. But Timbersaw, does he have enough? They'll snowball forward. Punch him and flip him. Timbersaw chains on down. They got a quick Decrepify out, but Pugna's already gone. And Armel will complete his TP away to safety.
VP are just so good at this in and out style of fighting. I love watching them play when they have heroes like Pugna Terrorblade, Tusk, where you can just immediately go from defensive to offensive. Like they just continuously bait TNC into poor positions and immediately blow up the core they want to target. That was 2 deaths on the PA, a death on the Timber, what was it, I think 2 on the Bat?
Roger is actually able to delay this fight so long. He snowballed to remove so many of the sticky napalm stacks that were prepared by the Batrider, but it bought time for Terrorblade to TP into the shrine and then just walk over while Pasha with a haste rune will chase the Batrider around the cliffside. Ramsey will arrive as well, but he couldn't keep the damage in, so a blink away for Batrider will save his life. But this happens around the 20-minute mark, so bounty runes are up. Armel's already taking both the top. It'll be a 50-50 trade.
Jeez, what's going on with games, man? Is this the patch? Is this today? Because they were fast at the minor, but it's 20 minutes, and it just feels like we're already in the late game.
Yep. This is turbo mode, right?
It kinda.
But better.
I mean, there was a lot more gold added into the game when you consider that all of a sudden Denies went from 25% XP to you to 25% gold. Stacks as well being buffed to give more gold to the stack E or stacker when the stack E clears them. Just combine that, you know, talents, all these new cheap items.
It's about increasing the speed of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, if things do really go late game, they're still going to be very entertaining. But it's a lot more of a rare occurrence, and the teams, they're finding better ways to do it. Like, VP are forcing this issue so hard. Ether lands on Pugna with a level 2 Dagon. He's even gone for a plate mail, so they can't just cut through him, which is what the Phantom Assassin wants to do.
Are scanning.
So he's even got his own sustain, and well, another good push from Virtus Pro, and TNC will be on the ropes. 4 heroes, everyone but Batrider used their buyback to defend against the last aggression of Virtus Pro.
And I don't see that aggression stopping anytime soon.
Yep.
Roshan
smoked up looking for a
Radiant are scanning.
Roche can spawn at any moment. 2:40 actually is going to be the official time. And the teams don't know that, of course, so I expect VP, yeah, you want to get aggressive, but you've already cleared the bottom shrine. I think you take top shrines. Secure the map. Look for next Roche. You know how far ahead you are.
Oh,
another
one. Well, when you got them to burn and you're looking for kills, draw the line around the mid.
Well, this is cool though. They're just backing up their Terrorblade. The 4-in-1 smoke, the VP special. They always leave one guy showing in the lane.
These Sentry Wars down from TNC are always in range of any observer the Virtus Pro is putting down.
Look at this though.
But they may not care. They'll just go up.
The PA though, he sees this DD rune up top and he's blurred. He's going to grab it and immediately look to go towards mid. This is what TNC needs to have a prayer in this fight. And one big RP, you never know, could change their fate.
But the PA is not... Actually, the PA isn't powered up. She's actually taking the creep wave behind him. Trying to remove it so the backdoor protection does kick in. The Terrorblade just goes up and there's one creep that's still alive that allows him to finish off the range racks. PA, gonna need a fresh power. There it comes in. But where's your attack? Another smoke coming in from TNC. This one's in the back line, trying to keep the Dazzle out of vision, but the Ravage popped out by the Tidelander. Batrider instantly bites back, but then again the Sunder has changed the life with the Timbersaw, so Ramsey's still fighting strong, but that's why Gabby jumps in, looking for the kill, making the most of the DD, has to go into the blur. There's no detection on him, now he'll break free of it. Quite visible to Decrepify the Thunder to try to buy that little bit of safety as the Lich Chain Frost will not bounce more than twice. Virtus Pro going to retreat, but they got what they wanted. The mid-racks is gone, and somehow Roger just TP's out in front of the fountain, so sure.
I'm not sure what their last pick should be in this scenario as TNC, but I'm pretty sure it's not bad. It's just such a hard hero to play into Tide, not to mention the Pugna. Like, he can't even Firefly when in range of the Netherwater. He's going to cancel his own Blink, and it just... He exploded.
Yep.
They didn't even need to Ravage. I don't think he was going to survive another second. Scotty on the Terrorblade. Roshan is about to spawn. 20 seconds away. 2 racks advantage, and I think VP may have learned a bit from their match against eHome. I don't expect them to let a team survive for as long as they did in that game 3.
Yeah. They have to push it. They have to push it hard. At the same time, though, TNC thinks a lot about themselves, too. They're already 1 game up, so even if VP do win this, it's still only going to tie this series. And it looks like Virtus.pro, they're not caring about Roshan, who is alive. They 4-man smoke up and have Terrorblade push into the tier 2 tower on top. But there's a trade-off. TNC are taking the mid-tier 1, and Magnus was trying to push the tier 2 tower on bottom. But they're not in position ready to fight just yet. The push is already coming in from Virtus.pro. Terrorblade doesn't have Metamorphosis for 10 seconds, so he doesn't really care too much. I think just push it. And with the Sinister Gaze, Armel, defensive Yule Center, will buy him a little bit of time. Ninja Boogie's nearby too. Shallow Grave, he will pop it off, even though Timothy will be alive. And Batrider, the lasso, but the Chain Frost. Riora just cannot survive this, dead for so long. This is the big death timer, thanks to the buybacks from previous times. Magnus, what do you want to do? You Shockwave. All he can do is skewer into RP, but RP's down for 10 seconds, and even under this BKB protection, the Skadi of Ramses slows down the Phantom Assassin, so she cannot stay aggressive and attacking into Virtus.pro.
Not much to say on this one, Toby. There's no Batrider, there's no real initiation. Pugna walking around with the plate mail now.
I think you can say GG.
Oh yeah.
Even the blink from Pasha, he'll end this with a 4-man Ravage. You can RP and skewer them back in, but once you call GG, there is no going back. Virtus.pro will level the series up 1 apiece, and it kind of almost felt like we just had an extra 5 minutes in that game, which wasn't even necessary.
After that first Rax went down, I'm pretty sure this game was in the books. Just a clean game from VP. I'm not sure I want to give this team Tusk ever. Their lanes become so much stronger. You guarantee that Ramses is going to have a good time.
Oh mate, forces spin will get away. I think the other thing to look at here as well is Medusa is eventually going to reach a stage where she's going to go, okay, I have to build a BKB. And you never want to have to be at that stage as a Medusa.
Versus so difficult. You just have to know yourself that you need that BKB. Yeah, it's not the greatest job for Medusa, but it's so over.
Radiant are scanning.
This type of game, you don't really have many other options. OD's real strength comes from the magic immunity. Just able to sap away you're in and use it against you.
I love how there's just these two little guys around creating some space for their real moves.
Yeah, they exist, but that's about it. Zooming in. Nisha vacuumed in. We'll actually get the creep. That's what he was after. Loses some mana for it. Mid one did just move in pretty deep here with the Astral with the blink forward. A lot of damage on the Chalice. Sands Clips is not enough. The final tap doesn't finish him off. Chalice will live.
A ton of stacks on OD. Stack is dark.
They have to be careful though, because they've just used the Silence Eclipse. LGD aren't as threatened in a big team fight anymore. Don't move smart. Don't move top though. Don't get smart about this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I don't think LGD defend this. They're thinking about their smoke.
They did smoke up though. They smoked up. They have vacuum because they have all. You can combo it with don't have Religious ulti. So they definitely have to fight.
Oh, die. Diffusal. Don't lock him in place. Stunned up as well. Looking to fight with this. There's going to be Astral Protection. Ignis does come out. Stonegate's being used as well. Slot looks the wrong way. Now throws on the spot. Trying to get him out in tow. They're going to vacuum them together and the ping pong ball just bounces around. As Nova does get himself a double kill. No escape for these two.
They tried to get out.
Everyone else should be able to escape. Yaps will make his escape. Puppy does get out. Mid one, waiting in the tree line. This does have a TP, but he wants to use that Midas before he leaves.
It's gonna clear your big way like that. Do that. But the problem is, you don't fight through.
Not for long.
There's absolutely not stopping the exchange. You're gonna most likely have a good it's probably not
Invisibility. Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's tanky enough. He gets just in case all these.
Yeah, there's just too much to get through to get to the Deucer right now. The Juggernaut is your front line, and that's why you give him the Aegis. It's heading towards the Mjolnir next, by the way. Wants the machine gun out in the middle of an Omni Slash. Scan has revealed what Secret's doing here. They want to try and pop this Aegis straight away if they can, but they need to be careful.
For the ball. Expect that someone maybe go in deep and try to bounty. You that wrap up every 5 minutes. You're behind. You just put more heroes one bounty roll, and you enemy heroes. And then quickly cross that bounty.
Wasn't too bad for Secret in that scenario as well, considering Chalice. He didn't actually pick up the other top rune. He denied it. He didn't trust the river. He didn't want to cross and see what was on the other side.
Smart boy.
I mean, nothing was on the other side, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah, but still, didn't know that exactly. Being a bit too cautious. This has completed.
Yeah, heading towards the Scarlet next.
Okay, it's going to be really hard for it to get her down. And I think one reason why it's off is so long. Without that shot, using Blade Fury and down Ignis Fatus, the team gets completely their way.
That's a fair assessment. I mean, we've seen Secret able to fight after the Ignis goes down, but when they do get that combo stacked together with the Soulbind, with the damage that you actually put out, with the double Phantom's Embrace and the use of the Firestorm. So, optimal scenario, Secret's damage is through the roof. And as you said, Armage is doing a fantastic job of staving off that combo.
I'm struggling to see where it's are. His ball is in this game. Actually managing to do it right now. His hero and long control.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They're not finding it at all.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And he basically farming games and
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And instead, you're in a scenario where LGD is just going to poke and prod at your high ground. I mean, the Crimson Guard came out from Zai. Finally, OD is back in the base. Nisha is cutting the wave. And that's more or less the story of Slock in this game. Everyone else is in the base. And little Fish Boy here. Yeah.
It's cut that. They can't. He just does. Which is.
It's the only option, really.
So damn annoying to play with when he's.
That's such an annoying hero to try and actually gank onto. You've got the Shadow Blade, you need detection. Use Dust, okay, it'll just purge it off. You need a decent amount of sentries, and at the same time, he always has Shadow Dance.
Like every time you think you got him, it's like, yeah, but has that more team, right? And the only way you like to guarantee lock him down is if you are able to Sinister Gaze. The problem is, how does Lich ever get close enough for that? The answer is you don't really. You just kind of hope you walk around a corner one day and he's there.
Let Terran push his base. Or it comes to what you do.
They know where Nisha is. Yeah, I'll pounce away. They'll just force it out of him. They want to make sure he doesn't turn around with Shadow Blade at all.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have. They didn't any longer, but they can't get.
I think the important thing right now is they're just making sure that Secret, while Secret is like, okay, we're forcing them to respond to us. This is good. We're buying time. The LGD, this is just running through the cycles until like Aegis is coming back up again. Gaze coming out on the Nisha. They found him. He's out of mana and out of life as well. Gets the one off and the Shadow Dance just in time though. 150 HP left on him. He was about to go boom.
Was so lucky Sun wasn't there. For Mr. Gates.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So this that. However, they're looking for high round.
They are. Zaya's still here though. Crimson Guard's going to go out again. Arme just tapping away at this tower. Still has the Aegis for a little bit longer. It's going to run out very soon, actually, about 10 seconds or 15 left. Sandstorm goes down. Now they're going to actually banish them when they come out. They might be in trouble here. And they got the timing right. Juggernaut spins, try and get away. Will he actually make it out? Sven won't be so lucky. Arme, there it is. Aegis gets reclaimed. LGD was sweating at that because that almost backfired entirely.
This is so deep.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Be completed right now. They got super maybe first. Definitely wait for the pickoff.
And you saw the way Secret approached that fight. They knew the Aegis was expiring soon. They didn't want to lose a tower though. Look how low it is. They waited until the absolute last moment they could before they struck.
Yep. I think this they play. They do the Willow West with the on the job. If you
what surge is this? TNC Predators turn to ban. Virtus Pros turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. Virtus Pros turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC Predators, turn to pick. Seconds remaining.
What can TNC do to really shake this up and take this entire series?
Well, for starters, they could take IO here, which is not banned. They banned Lich themselves. I think
Are they an IO team?
Tim's plays a really good IO.
Yeah. I also still ask the question, how good is IO? I'm not convinced it's like this super OP hero anymore like it used to be. But teams, they're just so much accustomed to not playing against IO. If you suddenly have to play against it again, it's like
it's kind of like a bait, right? You bait yourself.
Yeah. Or even it's like you don't play against a Brood for a while and it comes out and it's like you just forget how this hero works. So.
Yep. Do you feel kind of the same way that Black does? A little bit earlier today, he mentioned with this hero in particular, it is one of those things where if you do have somebody on your team who is used to playing it, maybe it does still have that level of strength that people.
We'll find out maybe because VP's picked it up here. It forces you down a certain road where you have to get this really strong IO partner, this hero that can benefit from the Aghanim's upgrade with the tether. So in this case, a Luna. In other games, you usually see the gyrocopter. I think it forces your draft down a certain way, but then it also changes how your opponents have to play. You know, you can't be playing alone on the map when IO can relocate in. So it does change the game entirely.
I mean, VP definitely expected them to not pick the IO because they instantly picked it when they responded with the Magnus.
Yeah.
And then of course Luna is interesting. Usually it's a gyro. Luna is much weaker in the laning phase, but much stronger when it comes to mid-late game. So it's more like an investment, I guess you could say.
It must just not feel like gyro is good anymore.
I mean, he's really not. But usually with an IO, he's still quite strong. Now, of course, we see the TB pick up against the Luna, one of the best refraction targets in the entire game.
Yeah. And actually a decent mag partner. Yeah, you're not getting in power cleave and metamorph, but when you're farming jungling, yeah, you use that in power pretty well.
I mean, just being empowered in range form adds like another 100 damage, minute 20. It's ridiculous how hard you hit, and it's definitely a good combo. You can always catch up if you have a bad early game as well, so one of the best partners.
I do want to go back to you kind of mentioning with Luna the investment. You like the investment?
I don't know. Luna is like Luna IO the lane is not good. You have nothing pretty much.
I mean, do you even want to maybe lane IO offlane with someone else and give Luna a different support?
I think that's almost like the better option because IO Luna, you put two strong heroes against it, they will not farm, and IO this Luna will have a very hard time. And then IO that loses early game is not very scary at all. It needs to be tanky. It needs to have a good lane.
But you do have to invest in this. You can't have Luna, not having a good game.
Yeah,
you're picking this hero to be your main farmer and carry this game for you.
I think I would like something like a Bane with it to secure the lane.
Bane's always been like kind of a classic support duo.
Yeah, you can set up the ganks with Redoka very easily.
Bane makes up for IO's weaknesses, the lack of lockdown, the lack of control. So,
and it would make sense too because the new Luna aura, of course, gives like main attribute instead of bonus damage.
Yep.
So it would be very good for a Bane. He can like infinitely brain sap.
So that's kind of the route you feel like they're forced down though. When they actually get to picks, are they forced to look for something to make up for those little things that are missing now?
Yeah, they're going to need some good Sun's control. Sven is
a good one.
The alternative, I think, as a support. We saw Solo play it earlier today as a 5, I think.
Sven Luna.
I don't know about if that's... Maybe they try one. That's the other option. That doesn't sound amazing, but we're seeing a lot of these 1v1 side lane matchups. As TNC get the Dazzle now. Dazzle PB very strong.
You can definitely abuse that mag matchup. Magnus 1v1 is not very good. You put like a Tide Hunter against it, and you go aggro with these 3 heroes. It's definitely a possibility, and the TB will suffer from that for sure.
And if mag's a 4, then your tri lane's going to crush the other team. Like they can't really tri lane with a 4-position Magnus.
That's the biggest weakness of Magnus, honestly. Your lanes just become so weak, so predictable that it's very easy to just abuse that.
That's why I think there's actually few teams who are still first picking Magnus. It seems like the hero actually fell off quite a bit over the post 7.20 patches because he got some small nerfs and people just understood, wait, this hero kind of sucks in the lane. You can completely take advantage of it.
Yeah, a lot of the better teams, they pick Mag in the second phase, if at all, if they identify the weak lanes of the opponents already. Or just first picking it like this leaves you very vulnerable to a lot of aggression. You think you're just gonna go back for Titan that's banned actually?
I like that adjustment. They've been relying and going back to that Tide way too much throughout.
I think today. Centaur is a good replacement. Slaughter, even Slaughter 1 versus 1 against the melee hero is super good.
TNC Predators turn to pick.
Underlord.
Underlord, of course.
I was thinking more like what's going to do with the TB because the Centaur to me doesn't. Yeah, you can get the Crimson Guard and all that. Instant OD pick.
OD is a hard counter to Underlord.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Pretty good against Luna as well. Gives you a good save with the Astral. I mean, you've got both Grave as well as Astral now. There's a lot of defensive playmaking capabilities here. So
Ragnar band as well. One of the better counters.
Yeah. It is the third game in a row we see VP with that final pick, and they're looking to give no one that good mid matchup. I mean, they didn't in game 1 in the end, which was kind of weird because they picked him the hero but didn't send him mid.
And then dodged it, yeah.
You got to imagine he's looking for something favorable.
But now we're looking for an aggro tri-lane, a safe lane Underlord most likely.
Yeah, and then 1v1. He can crush a 1v1 against Magnus though.
Yeah, I feel like TNC will also want to avoid the lane, so I think getting the right lanes is very important for VP this game in particular.
What do you run against the OG? Sniper used to be one of the counters.
But Sniper Luna, it can work.
I think it's not too greedy here.
Yeah, it can work.
This is you're versing a Magnus. It's a slow-paced game. You know, you see that the other side, and you're like, okay,
they have no one to reach.
What's that?
They have no one to reach.
Yeah. I mean, Sniper versus TB is not like amazing, but you get enough farm. You can maybe you're going to look towards like your Luna with her Hags Eclipse. To maybe and your Underlord to kind of mitigate the TB's damage.
If not Sniper,
they ban it, so it's that's taken out of the picture.
So Snipers. But first TNC, what do they need? They need a position 4 Tim's hero. I don't want to see him on a Magnus again. They actually need him to move around and create some space.
It's Rubik, Tiny, Earth Spirit. Those 3 banned, which means
10 seconds remaining.
Again, yeah, like the position 4 pool is so limited at this point.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like they should have almost been prioritizing his picks more in the draft because it feels like this is 2 games in a row now where they get to this last pick and it's like, well, Hims does not have much left to play in his his comfort zone.
Picking Mag 3 times in a row seems they didn't adjust at all. They just came in with this like one idea, and
yeah, maybe it works one game and you're just like, well, let's keep sticking to it.
I mean, we spoke about it's probably also the most comfortable that you can get with a player you're not so used to.
Yeah, you're playing with a stand and you had maybe a couple days to practice, as the team said, so they feel like they just have to stick with a few different options.
Shadow Demon.
Alright.
Oh, it's good against Luna.
Yeah.
Tinker.
I think this makes sense.
Now select your heroes.
They get a TB counter. And
I was going to mention it, but I thought Tinker is way too greedy.
Yeah, we haven't seen much Tinker at all.
I said Tinker Luna is very greedy.
And usually not from a team like VP. They haven't really gone for this Tinker all too much.
But of course, no one is in a very good Tinker. Like his mechanical ability on the hero.
No one's a very good, 20 different heroes.
Put him whatever, yeah.
It's hard to really say there's many heroes that he's not going to shine on.
But a Tinker can demolish this game.
Do you think the lane is good for him too against the OD? That's
the new one. Honestly, nobody plays Tinker anymore. So I haven't actually experienced the lane. Yeah. But I think on paper it should still be okay. Like you're probably just going to trade farm. Because he can't really be aggro on you, you just laser him if he banishes you, and I think they're both just gonna farm, and then yeah, Tinker, if he gets a good game, he can carry this game easily.
Like where did TNC last pick again?
Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon, okay. Yeah. So they still don't have good ways to, they don't have good ways to catch the Tinker at all, really, with their draft.
And we spoke about how Sniper, there's a lack of reach for him. Tinker is even worse.
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna blink around.
There's some questions, but also a lot of potential with Tinker. But I do want to go back to the Magnus. Do you feel like the reason that we keep seeing it is because you guys kind of alluded to, but really we haven't talked about since the first game in the series, and that is going to be the stand-in for TNC. Do you think this is their way of saying, okay, we have a stand-in, this is just the best way to play around that we're not really used to, guys?
Yeah, it feels like it. They're going to at least, if it fails them too much, they may look a different direction. But for right now, you took a game off VP, one of the best teams in the world. Try it again.
Yeah, and also right now it's not necessarily down to the wire. You're in a pretty good position here. If you're able to take this next game, you already know that you're going to have one of the best places that you could have in Group A, and we're going to figure that out right now. We are going to figure out who the top dog in Group A is going to be. We got Kyle and Toby waiting by. Let's kick off the action.
Yeah, TNC have already improved themselves really well. They're looking to keep going as Tim's is going to get us straight into the action with disruption already over on Solo. A very difficult hero to kill off, however. This Ven just continues to run back towards the town. They'll bash him up again. No one. Laser is available. Solo is still alive, and with the rest of Virtus Pro behind him, they'll start to disengage. This can give us a little bit of time to have a chat.
30 seconds to battle.
How do you like... Oh, actually doesn't. Ramses... They don't have a stun. Tim's is fine.
Is he? Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's if things get rough, he can always disrupt.
I really like the VP draft, if that's what you're going to ask.
That's what I'm looking for, because it seems like got so much sustain, such great global presence as well. And it doesn't feel as greedy as I think the panel was kind of saying it was.
It just fits the way VP wants to play. Ramses is on a hyper carry, you got a ton of global mobility, you've got just really good lanes, and
this is fun.
Well,
yeah. So Gabby waited and rotated around the back. He used the reflect to slow down Roger and Ramses. So this way they could ensure they get the 2 runes. At the same time, Riol got both the runes on the off lane. So TNC will claim all 4 runes.
That's good.
At the start of the game.
Yeah, you had to address the OD. I have not seen this hero lose a game at the tournament, at least 4-0. And Tinker is a counter. You need the BKB, and Ashivas now on RML if you really want to find this Tinker and kill him. You can still snowball and certainly win the game, but it just feels like VP, if they get ahead, that lead is just going to grow exponentially, and it'll be a very quick game.
They're already lane switching, so even though you get all 4 runes, Sven's going to find out the fact that Riora is only now just making his way up towards the top lane. Tim's was soaking up the bottom lane farm. And they can do this kind of nice, easy combination, like disrupt into Shadow Wave, harassment damage, but it's against an Underlord.
Yep.
And now even Sven's going to arrive. Stormbolt, bring down the Hellfire. Tim's got hit at least once by the Underlord.
Yeah, Underlord loves laning against Terrorblade, though. He has 50 damage on the TB trying to last hit. Pasha sitting at 72 with just 1 stack of the Atrophy Aura.
The TNC willingly put this lane in. Like they moved Gabby down. They wanted to walk him in for this. And then on bottom lane, Pasha, they're going to keep on harassing into the tree line. That's the reason why Solo is here to lend aid.
It's just an impossible lane for Magnus. If you just can't try lane a Magnus, right? You want to give Gabby a game, so yeah, it's tough. An Underlord doesn't mind this, but at least you ensure your Terrorblade's going to have some nice farm. Top lane, though, I just fear for Rior. I don't want to see him have a repeat of that last game where he just was a complete non-factor after getting crushed in the laning phase. But at least as a mag, you can pull creeps a lot easier than a no-boots Batrider.
Roger's still going to try and make him work for it. Try and make him burn the salve if possible. Meanwhile, Ramsey can just drag the Dire Creep Wave over. They did use a Sentry Ward to block the pull, so it's still easy for the Radiant side just to get more. Bottom lane, Stormbolt's around. Pasha's still trying to get back underneath the tower, or hide inside the Fog of War, but it's just not possible for him. The Underlord will fall. Solo, 1 Stormbolt's all he can really lend to help out his teammate.
Top tower is under attack.
Bear in mind, the change to the Soul Catcher on Shadow Demon no longer increases the damage taken, but it does immediately deal damage equal to percentage of your current health. That's very effective against somebody like an Underlord.
Especially if you want to try and buff that up, right? So the other lane I want to keep my eye pretty closely on is that Tinker lane. How fast does no one start to move up in items? Again, they just keep going on bottom. Never ends. Stormbolt out over on the Terrorblade. They've got Ninja Boogie behind him with a Shadow Wave to give the extra life. Keep the push going against Pasha. Tim's be the one to find the kill.
It's the second time in 2 games where they've done a really good job of that. You punish the teleport back. It's fine to die as the off-lane Underlord, well, safe lane Underlord, but technically. It's just when you die after teleporting, you have to do this walk of shame. You're a slow hero, and he might actually just go to the jungle. He's level 3, 2 points Firestorm, and bottom lane just seems
Solo misses 0-1 in his CS. level 2 needs to now go up against a Terrorblade. That doesn't sound like a fun time.
They're just trying to leech some experience. It's certainly not fun.
The counter out is, however, the fact that Luna is getting some really good farm. Obviously, Terrorblade's getting the same type of thing, so is the OD in mid. But it's kind of like, if you look at the top 3 cores, it's pretty balanced across the board as far as the CS goes.
Yeah. Now the mid lane, though, that's the one to watch. It's incredibly even. Slightly more denies on Armel, but who rotates mid first is going to be the question. You have double banish, bear in mind, this entire game for TNC, and a Grave. This is something I remember EG doing against us in a scrim way back before TI5. You have this so much save, double banish and Grave. Like, in a team fight, you can theoretically crazy outplay VP.
By just removing a hero the entire time. Solo's in trouble, disrupted up, poisoned, and the body block of the SD Illusions just staying in front of Solo, and they have enough damage to get the kill. Pasha trying to stand his own ground and fight. He does really minimal damage. Tims has the confidence just to stand his own ground again and fight back. As there's 5 minutes in, they want to stall him up. So as many of the runes go the way of TNC as possible, and VP will claim both of the top runes in the hands of Roger.
A really weird meta that's changed. Like, we did not really see this at the minor very much, but now every single game it feels like you just have both carries free farming the enemy safe lane. Mid relatively even, and then the supports kind of just run around in circles. You look at this, Shadow Demon Dazzle, they will find Solo once again.
Yep, they got a 4-man Shadow Wave, that's why Solo is so low on his life. He's able to pop his War Cry, letting that shield do some work. He's got 4 stick charges up his sleeve too, and not to mention Roger TPing over with bottle charges available. They try efficiently to salve up Sven.
So far so good for TNC, and see how this goes. I'm really curious to see this Tinker-OD relationship plays out as the game progresses. Same with TB Luna. I see Terrorblade as a pretty good counter pick to the Luna, but the thing about that hero is that you output so much damage, especially if Wisp hits level 15. You get that Ags Luna ultimate. If TB doesn't have a BKB, he might just feed to your ult alone.
Boogie's trying to look for that nice poison touch area, and they're going to find it anyway if ST moves over. Just a disruption not even required. Gabby, okay, maybe it is required. They should have had enough damage to easily kill a Pasha. Now they'll have to dive underneath the tier 1 tower to find the Underlord. As Ninja Boogie tanks that tower, gets the poison touch off mid lane. No one gets the solo kill onto Armel, and Pasha looking for a rebuttal onto Ninja Boogie. The Hellfire will not be enough to get the kill.
What a solo kill mid from
Where are you going? Going very, very deep. Catcher is out. They'll turn on the Reflect. Solo looking for a fight of his own. 7 stick charges available. This will give him the Storm Bolts. Now combo with Ramses. One more Lucid Beam and Gabby will fall. And that's exactly what happens. Solo gets the last hit in.
Really good TP there from the Luna. Ramses just getting effective. Not only does he get that kill, but also a tower deny, assuming he's able to last hit this properly. He wasn't. I jinxed him.
He attacked, the catapult attacked, and that was all I had to say about that.
Yeah. I feel like a slower game will favor the side of VP. However, you do have a timing on the side of TNC. If you get, you know, BKB on the Terrorblade after his Manta, something like that, you can just win a fight and just go high ground because he's going to output so much damage. It's a really tough game to read.
It's kind of hard to go high ground against this, though. Like,
yeah,
you can always just leave Luna on the front lines who can be sustained by the eye, but it's the mass march of the machines. It's the missed chances that will come in from laser. It's just that never-ending Tinker spam that's very problematic.
Tower is under attack.
I suppose they got some decent sustain, but Tims is not one of those players who has sustain. Roger and Ramses combined together to kill him underneath his own tier 1 tower. Sustain comes from heroes like Dazzle.
No one just farming the jungle, trying to stay efficient. Got a really lucky camp. Only Tinker can really only farm the magic, not resistant creeps.
Solo, he's just walking into the middle of Armel, Gabby, and Ninja Boogie. They didn't have all the vision in the world to know this, but most of the heroes walk past that mid tower. Solo gets the war cry off as no one arrives for defense duty.
Under attack.
And they got the glyph up as well. This is the downside of playing into a Tinker as a Terrorblade. It is incredibly difficult to push in. As you said, no one just spams out a couple marches. All of a sudden, the creep wave's dead. And the meta is now going to have to be used for farming.
Middle tower is under attack.
Definitely not what Gabby wants. He wants to be taking towers with this.
Yeah. This is like the new Dota too. Like up top, you just have Mag versus Underlord constantly shoving waves into each other. It's like every team drafts and plays around this concept of heavy pressure, and sometimes you just get stalemates in what feels like every lane. And that's what we have here. It's just lanes being shoved.
Yep. You just wait to see just how much of a reply any team wants to do. We saw it earlier today with eHome just TPing in all 5 heroes. It's like, no, you're not going to take our towers. You're going to play very much like Wings did. But for now, it's a little bit more of a different story. VP are going to smoke up. They smoked up on top of the Dire Observer Ward, so they should be aware of that. That's actually a very odd scan position. It's over on the Radiant side of the river, where Tim's is now walking out to. So they must be looking for the bounty runes. And Tim's, well, Spirit's going to be able to connect onto him, so he'll die. VP not getting the fight they were looking for, but they'll still claim both bottom bounty runes.
No one does finish up his bots. 3 gold away. He's going to do the walk back to base, and then he'll be free to port out anywhere he wants. And this is where the VP lineup starts to accelerate. And if you're the side of TNC, you got to think about towers, and you got to think about what timing are you looking to win this game, because right now VP is going to be very content just shoving lanes and farming in all directions. Like,
yep.
There's nothing you can do if you're TNC unless you're able to find some kills first.
Especially because you got this now. With the BTs up from Tinker, it's too easy just to relocate in and have this global presence across the map for Virtus Pro. Ramses doesn't have any kind of points up in the Eclipse, so he's got to do this the old-fashioned way, but that's why we've got Tinker rockets flying long and far.
And we didn't even comment on that. Wisp will die in the bottom lane, but check out Luna's...
Willie tethered down, begins his TP, and there will be a banishment. Tinker started his TP in, faking the RP out from the Magnus. And Io this time around, nothing to tether over to, and he will not survive.
Check out the Luna skill build up top as he's pushing.
A 1-3-4 build.
Yep. And remember, that gives bonus primary attributes now, and he's playing on a team with 3 strength heroes. They all, like, look at the health on Underlord and Sven. Sven has brown boots and 1500 HP. He's level 4.
Yep. Nothing like it, man. When you combine it with the Warcry too, the attack speed increases. You've got Mask of Madness already completed over on Ramses. Io just rejoins this fight, and then all of a sudden the Luna's just wrecking apart everything. That's why it kind of feels like Luna is just going to destroy any kind of army that TB wants to create. Now Pasha begins the Uber route. Solar wants to stay with him. The banishment is out. Does Pasha get to take him with him? And yep, together they will retreat back home, forcing multiple TPs out from TNC, not to mention the use of Sandy's Eclipse.
I love what offlane's become in this new patch as well. It's pretty much just a race to Vlads, unless you're Magnus, because you don't need to buy Vlads, because you have Empower. But Pasha just pretty much ground boots Vlads, no matter the hero, constantly farm waves, and then find your carries, make them better. And this build on Luna, yeah, it's a bit greedy, but if you get away with it, you farm so fast with this max Moonglaive and Aura style. The points in Beam are effectively useless if you're not casting them on enemy heroes. Meanwhile, OD picks up a Midas, but this is a lot later than the one we saw in that eHome game. A full 3 minutes almost, and I don't know if you're really capable of getting away with it this time.
It's the TNC wraparound. Tims has the double damage room for some reason with a double storm bolt from Sven. Solar creating more space. Gabby did, however, get that metamorphosis off. He doesn't finish Roger. Okay, the poison touch from Ninja Boogie will finish Roger off instead. And this strands out Ramsey. Oh, what RP! We are able to grab both of them. Roger keeping the tether up. He bought back to keep Ramses alive. And that's why they just hit on the Mask of Madness and the Overpower. Every bit of damage you've got. Find him in the trees. Ninja Boogie TP out. Cancelled by the Lucifer Beam. And Ramses, even after he was pulled out, the Glaives finish off the bounce. 4 heroes down from TNC. The buyback from Io kept them in it.
What a bounce. That's the definition of perfect right there, because that was the last little touch of damage. and it means that Ramses gets solo XP off the kills because he's not in range when they actually pick them up. So great job by him, and really kudos to Roger though. That's a critical buyback. I'm pretty sure Luna and Tinker are dead there if he doesn't save the Ramses.
Ramses gets so much money from this. Of course, you do see how it can turn around, Tims. You get a disruption off and on Luna, and all of a sudden you do probably more damage than the rest of his team currently does.
That's a good point. One of the reasons they last picked this hero. A bit unconventional, but TNC proving, they don't... we've seen a lot of weird picks this far in this tournament. I saw Chaos win a game with a Wind Ranger Naga.
Yeah.
Not surprised to see Shadow Demon back if Luna's going to be picked this early.
Nothing is ever very clear when it comes to starting up like something that's as important as the Major.
Yeah.
There's always this own meta that starts to form up. Teams have specific concepts. Hey, who knows? Maybe we see the Wyvern and Axe concept that some people may have created in this casting duo.
So that was...
It ain't me.
They baited the scan. VP saw that TNC scanned and waited with that smoke play, counted to 15, and then immediately they're into the pin.
They're doing this pretty quickly. TNC unable to push the other lanes in fast enough. Middle, bottom, top, everything's going in a lot, like pretty fast. And Solo's still able to claim both of the bounty runes from top. So Virtus.pro loses out on nothing. They get the Aegis Immortal into the hands of the Luna, who's looking for her own fight. OD's going to show herself. Roger? Does he want to get involved in this? What's coming in the courier? You've got the drums now completed for Armel.
But it's just not an item that's going to change the status quo here. I'm a bit concerned for TNC.
That's a really great Tinker Ward though. TNC, oh the RP! It didn't actually catch out the Luna, so when they turn on the Eclipse, Roger's nearby, and no one. He's TP'd over to the creep wave, into the trees. You've got rockets flying forward. Ryor gets hit by that pretty hard, not to mention the laser, bouncing into Terrorblade. So Gabby doesn't find the hit he's looking for. In fact, he's going to get Storm bolted up and Solo with the God Strength. The Root tries to create a little bit more space from the Underlord, and is able to buy just enough time within Jabugi Shallow Grave to get Gabby Sunder off. I think Solo is totally done with this. At least I don't want to be done with this. But they may have to with IO dead.
You're okay with that if you're VP. Not ideal, but you could have... If Ramses doesn't make that quick little shift to the left and juke that double RP, they're going to lose that Aegis as well. No one up with the Blink Dagger now. Aether Lens next, and you're well positioned as VP to just clear out this tier 2 bottom tower. And Pasha, I love it because he actually went for the medallion right after Vlad's too, so certainly keying in on a way to itemize, and I don't blame him after Seb and TrueSight proved just how important itemization was.
Well, this push can keep going on bottom lane with the Vlads, the VIP booster, and the medallion. Anyone comes too close to Virtus.pro lineup and they're probably going to pop. IO's already rejoining the fight, Tinker's a little bit further away. Interesting Observe Wall being put down, and once again, okay, they're going to try and fight with the Luna illusions, but it won't work. VP very quick to clean up the disruption illusions, and they can't afford to lose the tower. If the tower goes down, these glaives will make it impossible for the supports to stay in close. That's why Tims is over in the tree line, so he's sort of close enough to be involved in the fights, but here comes the glaive bouncers. How do you even blink in? Magnus has to fall back almost to his tier 4 towers in order to have this Blink Dagger off cooldown. And yeah, VP, they just take the racks. No one wants to come closer. Tims, he'll come in, he'll get the Purge over on the Luna, but that's why the pick comes down. Tims very quickly dead. The buyback gets out, but the bottom rack is totally taken. They'll have to wrap around from the rear. Dazzle as well as OD looking for a target, but now they realize the Observe Ward was already there. They de-warded even though the rockets are flying forward. And Virtus.pro haven't found the target they want just yet. Roger's got tether away targets, and it will be the Luna, and they find their one target in the backline is Dazzle. Shallow Grave will come out, but these mass rockets from Tinker, they're so far forward. Dazzle will finally die. SD's caught on the wrong side of the tracks. This will be a dive back from him as well. That's why they just try and close the distance, laser it up, rooter him up, and no one... Too easy for him, but it's Ramses who actually takes the double kill.
That was really cool from VP. I love what Roger did there. All the players of VP just so skilled individually. Instead of running with his team up the high ground, he popped balls max range and then cleared out the space to the left to ensure that they had some sort of vision on the enemy high ground, gets more of a feel for where TNC is actually playing around, and then tethers to his team. And you can just see they understand their timing and how they want to win games. It's just the same formula. They get this Aegis, they itemize properly, and then all of a sudden, they have a ball of death. And the game's now blown wide open. Yep. They're going to just march down top. And I still don't know if TNC can stop them.
Well, they got a little bit more time left on that Aegis the Immortal. So while you've got that, you know you want to go. Like, war cry it up, and that's holy crap. There's so much damage on the Underlord and so much life on him. Like, they don't even finish up the full Crimson Guard. Imagine if these guys actually have a Crimson Guard, a BKB for Ramses.
Yep.
It'll fly on the Courier. He won't have it for this push.
But you have Aegis for another minute, so as long as it shows up
before that. Did he actually just give it to the Tinker? So
now, he did.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Easy itemization, easy teleport. That Courier doesn't have to do any kind of traveling. So the SD, the illusions are up. Ramses quickly kills them off. So now he can focus on the primary target. Doesn't care if he dies. In fact, he almost wants to die, soak up abilities, take the tower, let the Aegis Immortal pop. Back to full life.
Under attack.
What do you do? TNC?
They can't initiate on this. If they do, they lose everything. The glaives are bouncing through Armal, almost killing him down.
Hey, look at that. Ramses. Now the tower's dead. He doesn't want to get disrupted, and he just keeps juking Tim's positioning.
Rio also keeps getting hit by rockets. He keeps getting hit by everything else. He cannot blink in. There is no blink RP.
No.
One Aegis the Immortal, and they take the polar opposite racks, north and south.
And this is just great heads-up play from VP. They recognize, look how far ahead we are. We're just going to go shove it down their throats and win this game. TNC itemizing like this is the 2016 Tinker, where games used to go 40 to 50 minutes automatically. They have a Midas on OD. They're about to buy one on the Magnus, but this game is going to be over well before the time when these items pay off.
Yep. That's the biggest challenge of TNC. If they can hold for these items to be good, I think we're both on the same page, or we don't believe that's going to be possible, because VP are already grouping up. Ready to fight once more. They're around the mid. Looking for smoke, and right now, no one's carrying any.
Yep, this is the right move,
not on VP side. On TNC side, they're going to three-man smoke up and wrap to mid. Maybe this is one way Real can finally get this RP off.
Well, they need a huge one. On Tinker plus 1 or 2.
SD's going to break it on the side. He's going to break it on Io. They're coming in close. OD. Okay, there you go. Smoke behind. They realize it's broken behind them.
And they do a great job. Look at the positioning, though. Look at where Wisp is. There's no way you're catching him. No one on the high ground while still smoke. Luna's hitting the tower. Underlord Sven clearing out a full 180-degree radius around them, ensuring that no wraparound is going to be possible. Look at this. It's perfect.
Yep. Underlord just says, please, come on me. While you've got the Luna. They had to wrap back around so hard for TNC to get back into the base. It's taken them so long. The Luna's already gone through. 2/3, making 3/5 of that tower. BKB's up just for safety. Fortifications buying a little bit more time for TNC and Ramses. Maybe just a little bit more cautious. Maybe not for Solo. He just goes straight in. Got a double stun out. They weren't ready to fight this one, and Virtus Pro. Probably the first mistake of this game 3. A skewer back on Underlord. It's a 4-man pit. Roger wants to be here for the fight, and with the Eclipse, you're going to lose 2. Make it 3 heroes. Io, the Glimmer Cape is protecting him. They cannot find him to kill him off. The side lanes are very much of a mess for TNC. But Virtus Pro overcommit. The tether is down for the Io. The orb will follow him. He'll live through it.
A little sloppy. I think Solo dying in the base was just him throwing away his life for the Glyph at that point.
It's like Ramses and he were on a very different page.
Yeah. It was just that they didn't recognize Glyph was up, because that BKB is well-timed if he can just finish the racks, but because of the Glyph, it's no longer possible, or the fortification, rather. I like the play, though. I mean, your Underlord effectively is a club bouncer, keeping out anyone you don't like inside VP's, VP's place.
Yep.
And right now, they're looking to take first place in this group, and I think that as long as they don't make any egregious errors, they're going to do just that. Gabby, no BKB, he's in trouble.
Yep. Tinker is just a non-stop fighter. He was looking for Tims to come close enough so he could stun to him and get the life back, but it doesn't work. 46 seconds without TP. Ramses triggers the BKB. This is Megas. Nothing will stop it, and it may even just be the game. You RP over on 2. The BKBs will still protect them underneath the tier 4 towers. Riol, he's going to live through this, and OD, maybe now you can prove your worth. Ramses, imprison him up. Find your target. No one, however, keeps continuously lasering the OD, so he can't get the stacks he's looking for. So they rotate back in towards the mid. There's a ball just sitting in the middle of the open for some reason. So Roger will pick it up and just bring Ramses and Roger up. And Pasha, they'll pull him out. They'll kill Tims, and everyone's going to leave. In fact, GG is already called. The game is done.
Just 2 series, same story. VP dropped game 1. I'm sure Reddit and Twitch is calling them washed up. Shouldn't have taken vacation, yada, yada, yada.
Never judge too soon. It's like, oh my god, VP haven't won a single game in how long? Like, like, I haven't won a game in 2 months. Wait, you haven't played in 2 months?